Liberia, while we wait for our other panelists, we are going to be talking about again. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for being with us. Let me know where you're calling from. Share the show. Today is going to be fiery. We are talking about Butt Naked versus Kehleboe in the Grand Jallah Showdown. Hey, Grand Jallah is on fire this weekend. It is Butt Naked versus District 10 Representative Kehleboe. Grand Jallah. We got the scoop. We got the details. We have it. Now let's go to another thing. Mammy Doe, the daughter of the former president, says that she has accused Senator Zoe Penner of ordering the theft of her parents' remains to be buried in Town. One man wants to steal two dead bodies at once, two at one blow. She says Penner is trying to steal and orchestrate the burial of her parents in Town instead of Zwedru. We will delve into that. And the court finally grants bond to Fonati Kofa and his colleagues against the will and pleasure, I would say legal pleasure of the administration. And another big one today in these United States. The United States, the federal government has charged a Liberian-born immigration officer in a $20,000 bribery case. Mr. Amara Dukley, 43, of Parkside, Delaware County, PA, was charged with bribery, taking bribe, stealing from the Liberian people, going into the Liberian community and the African immigrant community and taking money from them because he works for Homeland Security, Immigration Services. He told the folks he could change their statuses. He even tried to get money, $9,000, for a gentleman, purported gentleman who is a terrorist, being charged as a terrorist. Mr. Dukley told the gentleman that he could change, he could remove the terrorism charge from his record so he can become U.S. citizen. Little did he know that the person he was talking to was an FBI undercover agent in the parking lot of the Walmart. Ladies and gentlemen, my stepmother or my godparents used to say, if you are talking to a guy in these United States and he tells you that he's a Christian, he said, run. Run. If he puts it faith first, run. Mr. Dukley Some of these guys are telling you, oh, I'm a Muslim. I can't do stuff like that. They gain your confidence. Or I'm a preacher. I'm a pastor. I'm a man of God. I'm a follower of Christ. Run. If they tell you to go to a mosque, they serve Muhammad or Allah, before anything else, run. A legitimate businessman, a legitimate officer will stick with the law. His religion has nothing or should have nothing to do with his work. But because they want you to gain their confidence, they will tell you they are Muslim or they are Christian, and in their faith, they can't crook folks. Guess what? They are the biggest crook. Don't let anybody talk to you about them being Christian or Muslim or Buddhist before what they want to do. He took a lot of money from folks. Martin Willie, good afternoon. You are following from South Korea. Wow. Thank you very much for being a loyal fan of this show. So, we're going to delve into some of these issues, and then we're also going to delve into the politics behind most of these issues. What's about the showdown in Grand Jallah? General butt naked versus, was Kehleboe ever a general in the rebel movement? Anybody who knew his position, please put it up here, let me know. Peter White, watching from Minnesota, you are welcome. What was Kehleboe's rank during his days? Was he a major? Was he a general? Because Butt Naked said he was a general. I was not in Liberia for the war, but I think he was a general. General Butt Naked versus Mr. Kehleboe. Was Mr. Kehleboe also a general? They're going face to face in Grand Jallah County. Butt Naked wants to know. He says, when we in the southeast of Grand Jallah, there are two occasions that sets us apart from everybody. He said, those two occasions, solemn occasions. When we get married, everything that we do, our hostility ceases. When we are mourning, our hostility ceases. Those are the two events or occasions where people say, when we're making flour, we put our flour aside, we put everything aside. When somebody is grieving, you put everything aside. Welcome, George Underwood, watching us from DC. Thank you very much. So if you are steeped in tradition, but they can say in Grand Jallah and the Southeast overall, there are two occasions so solemnly swearing, and we talk about occasions that are so swollen. When we are talking about when you go to get married, when you say, I solemnly swear. When you are taking the hand of your bride, somebody's daughter, you say to death do us part. You love her. You will worship her. You will keep her for the duration of your life until you die or she dies. He said, on that occasion, if you're making flour, everything ends. The flour business finished on that day. And the second day is when we are in mourning. He said, in the Southeast, when someone dies, whether you and that person are not on good terms, that is the time you put everything aside and you go over there for humanity's sake. You go there and you sympathize and you become one family. If you guys have had animosity for years, you put it aside. He said this was not the case today with Kehleboe and other folks on motorbikes. While Grand Julius was quiet for a time being, while the body was coming through, people were sobbing, people were crying. Kehleboe and his motorbike gangs going through the town, making noise, disturbing the folks. So he warned Kehleboe. He says, I am Joshua Bly, whatever his full name is. If you do not maintain yourself or put yourself in order, I and my group will chase you out of Grand Julius. Welcome, Dr. Howard Jones. Pretty lady, thank you very much for following. So here we are talking about the homegoing of two of our greats, the late President Doe and his wife. And in the process, there's so many dramas, like a soap opera, different scenes. We got a daughter here accusing the uncle, one of the uncles, for theft of their bodies. Mommy Doe is accusing Senator Penner for ordering the theft of the two bodies and orchestrating their burial in Town, where Doe was born. Then in scene number 2, you got butt naked and Kehleboe dukesing it out. Butt naked wants to know, is this how you do it in Lofa? She said, because I know you, part of you is from Lofa. Is this how you grieve in Lofa? Then he apologized to the Lofians. He said, whatever I'm saying, if it offends you, I'm sorry, but this is a question, legitimate question I need to be asked. Is this how you mourn in Lofa? So this is not how we mourn in the Southeast. At least upon the arrival of the body, people are sobbing, people are crying, people are quiet, everything ceases. Instead, Kehleboe and his motorbike gang were making noise all over the place, disturbing the folks. So the general put him on notice, if you don't cease, I and my group will run you out of Grand Julius. That's what's going on in Grand Julius. We will find out sooner or later. Where will the Does be buried? What will happen between Mommy Doe and the Penners? The Doe versus the Penners. And then as I was talking to you, we talked about the big news in these United States, in our Liberian community. A Liberian-born immigration officer stealing from his own Liberian people, lying to them that he can change their statuses, charging them thousands and thousands of dollars. He was busted by the FBI. And his name is Amara Dukley. He's 43 years old. Out of Parkside, Delaware County, Pennsylvania. I'm going to talk to Tomalin George. He's in the PA area. Those of you in the PA area, in the Delaware Valley, if you know this guy, he's a dangerous fellow. His name is Amara Dukley, 43, out of Parkside, Delaware County, PA. He works for the U.S. federal government. He has been charged $20,000 in bribery from Liberians and poor immigrants in the PA area because he has an opportunity to work in that agency. He will tell the Liberian people or the West African Immigration Services people there that are struggling to make it, charge them thousands and thousands of dollars, say he will change their lot. He will expedite their immigration papers. He will remove indictments, things that he cannot do. He was taking money from these folks. Evangelist Milton Bly has vowed to immediately remove Yeka Koluba from Grand Jide County if the army or the police refuse to do so. Welcome, Mr. Pewee.
Thank you.
We have the nation is a boss. In news of all kinds. The one that actually caught my attention, it is General Buttnake versus General Yeka Koluba. Was Yeka Koluba ever general?
I think Yeka took. I believe yes. You know, it was a kind of a level of belligerent kind of a warring faction that the president that gave, and he was again the president of the country.
I can see myself.
But it was a kind of a Malaysia, different Malaysia group. So he was a Malaysia general, if you will, and tasked with the responsibility at the time to a special task force the former president gave him to arrest disgruntled generals that were trying to spread the news of drugs amongst the forces at the time. So Taylor gave them those kind of a rank. He just promoted them and allowed them to perform at his will. So yes, I think he was one of those so-called belligerent Malaysia general that Taylor used to perpetrate his agenda in Liberia. So yes, he was one of those.
Okay, so now we are talking about equal fight. This is equal for general versus general. You know, I didn't want to elevate that because I didn't know whether he was a general, because if he was not a general, he cannot stand before a general to give order.
No, but I think even if you're trying to do the two, the so-called, and I hate actually interacting calling his name, right? Because there's a man that boasted to suck innocent children blood.
That's right.
And he still sound the same today.
That's right.
I don't see the reason or even elevating such a dangerous person that would do the kind of thing in the city, want to boast. And he pretend to be a man of God and then seeking to get benefit from government, and you want to go remove you. And like, wow, this like you in many instances. This guy just blow his own thing. He's a loose cannon around the place. He's nothing. This guy called whatsoever General Buttnake or whatsoever. He's just a hustler that's behind the scene, and he want to use this scene to get some attention and no fund the government. You know, the first day they went to his place, visited him, he got some line with them and other things. But these are the kind of people that just kill innocent children, human beings in our country today. The one can boast about appearing or other things. I mean, these are not people we should take serious. But he's not even a general. We should recognize because who promoted him to be a general? That's one of the things. Who? For Yeka will boast that the certain president of a country did that for him. So in terms of the ranking, and I'm saying that because going to historical file of government, we dig behind the facts. It's not like I'm trying, I can deal with you guys sometimes, but Taylor at the time was a sitting president. And at the time he came in the light, Milton Bly came in the picture was April 6th, when the so-called war erupted between the NPFA at the time and that of other forces that caused the April 6th fracas in the country. So yeah, hopefully we want to go into those things, but yes, it was for Yeka only was tax President Taylor called him at the time to be the one to disarm disgruntled generals. Yes, he was tasked with that mission. It was announced, tasked with that special mission to disarm disgruntled general that was using drugs and spreading the news of drugs in the country. Then he was tasked on that mission, and he successfully implemented that on a serious because the president praised him, and he implemented that very fearlessly, to be very honest. And Yeka was part of the reason why most of those militia that were just roaming around when we were there, it was risky for us. Yeka disarmed those risky militias. He disarmed them. Some of their general, and he disarmed them. On a serious note, he's on record to have done that, and that is not because I'm here to provide this for him, but he did that. He's on record. He kept the city safe, to be very honest with you.
Mr. George, we are talking about two major generals. We've got General Butt-Naked versus General Yeka Koluba. Now the question is, the question that Blayou wants to know. He says in the Southeast, there are two occasions where everything ceases. When somebody gets married, all the flour we made, we put it aside, we go and marinate. And when someone dies, everything ceases. It says, in our quiet time in Grand Jita, this lunatic called Yeka Koluba is coming with motorbike gangs, making noise while people are weeping and sobbing. He said in the government, he has appealed to the army to remove this general or remove this vehement. If not, then he will take his men in battle to remove Yeka Koluba from Grand Jita, because that's not how we grieve in the Southeast. And he asked, and later on, I will want Mr. Pewee to answer this. General Butt-Naked wants to know, is this how you grieve in Lofa? Mr. King George, your take on this one is a heavyweight. You see, President Trump will say, when the children fight, let them fight a little bit, then you go part them. But this one are two generals. Your take on this?
Well, happy Friday to everyone. Today is June 27th, 2025. It's good to be back on the closing argument, and good to see Pewee and good to see Mr. Gilman. And all to our listeners, our viewers, I want to say welcome Martin Willie, Peter White, George Underwood, Dr. Howard Jones. Dr. Jones, you said you're coming to join us. When are you coming? We're waiting for you. We want to see you. We want to see you. Please, at least by next week, please start with us. But look, for the purpose of this platform, for me, I would not call that. I would not use the word butt-naked, because the last time I interacted with him,
you just use the word. You just use the word.
I will not use that word. Yeah, I will not.
But you just use the word, and that's why I said I don't like to call it.
Because the last time I think you have this man called. He's not called Joshua Milton Blayou. In fact,
evangelist. Yes,
I just spoke to him 3 minutes ago, and he's coming on the show. He'll be on the show tonight. And
that means no evangelist. Don't call him evangelist, please.
I mean, you are not. You are not. You have no authority to tell what it means to be called.
No, you see,
Pewee, now that the man talk to the man call and say evangelist.
An evangelist cannot slaughter.
Pewee, only God can. Pewee, all the people that
all the bishops in Liberia, everybody call himself bishop.
I agree the Bible says.
So the man confessed the sins. Confess the sin. The man say he transformed. So
does he know that someone have confessed his sin clean to that role?
The Bible says in Matthew 7:1. Judge not him. Judge not judge, but you're trying to judge the man.
I'm not judging him. I'm
judge the man, brother.
You see, okay, you see, you're trying to judging him.
You come here. I see you already attacking the man.
I'm not attacking him.
I heard it coming.
I'm not attacking him. What I'm saying here is,
what's about all the people that call themselves bishop? Everywhere there's a bishop.
Okay, maybe I want me off the show. If I'm off the show, I can leave the show. No. I'm not attacking you.
You know, on closing argument, everybody get it. Nobody says so. Everybody get it.
Yeah. I'm not attacking.
We give the listener to our state burial. That burial we give PYJ was, I think somebody said it was until the late. I think last funeral was something like that was Tommy Bernard funeral. Yes. Tommy Bernard funeral. I think when I kind of funeral I saw in Liberia, I thought was baby. Yeah. But we get a bit of state burial. Okay, all what he did. So now this man, at least, he taking children from off the street. He confessed his sins. He said, I've given my life to Christ. I mean, who am I to judge him? You know, everybody will carry their own cross. you know, I don't judge people, you know. So I mean, the two of them making, but I think his last video, I think it sounded more calm and reconciliatory. I think and so forth. I will call Yeke too. Hopefully, the two of them appear to know it will be a fun thing. Maybe we'll have a nice show. But at least I just got a message from Evangelist Blahi. He's on his way to the closing argument. He'll be on the show very soon.
And I see some of the reason why you try to portray me now as the villain here, right? You know, and some of the reason to certify the question he coming on the show. But here's what I will say. I will be very unbending when it comes to these things. I'm one person that always said those that committed the highest kind of atrocity, the inhuman atrocity in Liberia, we should give them no room of dignifying them whatsoever. I will never call that man evangelist. I will never ever refer to him as evangelist. I believe he's not evangelizing on nothing whatsoever. Everything he does is within the realm of seeking his own personal aggrandizement or interest, if you will. Even Yeke, I have condemned Yeke time to time. Listen, we cannot be pushing, advocating for change, transformation, and folks that have time back in the country, muted, unposed suffering on the people of our country. And they are still today boasting. Listen to the guy recording the second day around. He got met. An evangelist guy talks behind him. See, then he called himself evangelist. So I don't want to disrupt his coming on the show.
No.
Kind of line.
Don't stay.
No. I'm not going nowhere. Right? He's gonna come and go to say something. But why would I call someone evangelist when the state person still acting like a belligerent Malaysia?
But hypocrisy here too. When you are running for Ellen to be president, Ellen had Prince Johnson, y'all ever run to him for his support. And we saw that Prince Johnson he assassinated. He ordered the assassination of a sitting president. Okay, you're calling here. You're calling here. And you guys, so but people ran to him. Everybody, and this man, every election cycle, they ran to him for support. So now, you see, that will be fair. People committed atrocities, and I know that's why I say,
Tony, I condemn.
Every day in court, people I'm all for the war crimes court. They should go for it. Let people come and face the accusers. Let them come and tell us the role they play. Okay, but you see me, I'm very, very measured when I'm coming on the issue, because you know something, I don't want to sound like I'm taking side. I lost my brother. My brother was at the TB annex, and they overran that place. They say, oh, the patient over there, some of them were rebels, some of them were they get overran. They said they were pretending to be patient, they weren't patient. And for that day, we never lay eyes on our brothers on that day. People lost. So, you know, everyone all were affected during the war.
You said something, Jallah, that's very important. Let me respond to that before you continue. Referencing Prince, you try to find all means to hook me and link me to me supporting people that listen. There have been no day, no time. I'm coming to you. During the time I was very loud in the country when at the time I was staying with the New Progressive as executive director. I remain and we can be very active. We do a lot of things to recalibrate and come be very engaged. Let me say this to you. I've never ever supported Prince Johnson. I was one of those when there was a time there was this altercation between he and the late senator of the late Grand Cruz, Senator Clotus Watterson. Now, when I even condemned him when he's almost tried to threaten the old man at the time, right? I've never supported Prince Johnson, and I believe I have frowned on the Liberians for hailing him as a hero because he was a warmonger, and we frown on those things. And we should continue to say to people, now that even when I've never one day, when the U.S. sanctioned him, I was one of those that thank the U.S. government for doing that. Because whatever the U.S. government said in that pay for play, I knew it was accurate, it was very much correct, and that's why the U.S. government sanctioned him. Never, ever, never. I've never participated in mobilizing for anything on any warring faction before, and I will never, ever do that moving forward while I live on this earth. Right, even my spirit, even if I'm not around, will never indulge those kind of things. So it's part of the reason why we move to do things and we do it the way we want to do it. I'm not targeting. If you came yourself, and that's not Josh, I agree with that. If you came out and said that you are this evangelist, and when you play the role and act as an evangelist. Yes, what I would say. To stay calm, you saw the recent election, the kind of threat he was sending out. You saw the threat election against the We Are people. Leave that. I suppose that we are not sending up that. You saw the threat. And you just listen to him today. All the interview he had, people been pushing around the place. He says sound like somebody that stay hungry to orchestrate chaos. And that's where I got problem with him. Right? So while we will wait for him to come and ask him which of the evangelists who he went to or who sent you up, wait to go online. But so
right now, because he's having problem with the internet, he's running to Ganta. He'll do the show from Ganta, so he's running to Ganta now because he wants to really come on the show and perhaps to be heard.
I mean, he got no problem with internet now because we're hating him now. He's scared of Ghana. I always say he has a problem with internet. He's listening to the show. But he had internet to go and threaten Yeke today.
But man, I mean, we'll listen to Yeke.
Yeah, he come on the show. For me, that's the only thing I want to see. The last time he's doing this thing, he want to get favor from this government. He wants some support, and that's why he want to do this thing. And I hate people using the personal thing to do this thing.
He want down from the government.
When you got to know that Yeke did, and he said he don't have the moral compass to say because Yeke did that for the past 6 years. When he didn't know Yeke went in Grand Jallah the past 6 years. Did he go there to stop Yeke? Did he go there? And I'm even getting a report that Yeke is more popular in Grand Jallah than him. The man from Lofa.
Yeke is married to a Grand Jallah. You know that, right?
Yeke is more popular in Grand Jallah than him. So
Yeke always go Grand Jallah. Always go to Grand Jallah.
We look forward to see him come in. They said for almost how many years he have not been to his own place, and you're looking like a stranger. They said today.
Let me get Yeke too.
Yeah, come on. Yeah, come on.
Yeah, man. So That make the Friday interesting.
Somebody say, "No, you don't want to hear it." We're not on to take for talk. I say, "Man, you say, the day you ever do it, and whenever you crazy, I can sit down and observe. Whenever I
Tomalin,
I don't attack you.
Tomalin, 1 minute, 1 minute. Hello, go ahead. Your name and where you calling from?
Yes. Listen, Tomalin is saying something which is not true. Tomalin George is saying something which is not true. He said, General Joshua Bly said he doesn't want anything from the government. He is a deputy director general for NSA for operation. So he got something from the government.
Is that true?
But now
okay, he come in the show. We're asking the question. The man said today in video that
from the government. He can't say
that. We're asking. The man's coming in the show.
Come on. Is that true?
I know about that.
No, it's on record. The man is a deputy director general.
I know about that. We'll find out on that.
He's a government official.
The man said he want nothing from the government. He's not part of the government, so we'll ask him tonight.
But he's a government official.
And by the way, I got information this afternoon that the president is not pleased with the LRA board. I think he's about to take action here.
No, there are a lot of story on the LRA thing. I got a lot of details today on the LRA thing. Most of the other reports that we talked about yesterday, and when I researched the law, the LRA do have there's some option there that whatsoever the other general opinion of report in the report, but we'll get into it later on. The Customs and the Bureau of Customs and Exile will collect certain money and will use. It's in the law. And the PFM law, when there were many, I think the lawmakers themselves will have, because the revenue code, there's certain portion of the revenue code of our country, and I'm going to be section 11 for something of the revenue code, gave the LRA and the Bureau of Customs to use certain collections in their own operations. And in that, it is there, and I thought the Auditor General opinion didn't capture that was unfair to them. In the exit conference they have, I would have, I think the authority there may have brought that to the attention of the of the GSC, but the GSC didn't mention that. That is quite unfortunate. Another portion of it also that I went through on the issue about giving benefit, for instance, benefit and other things that you need procurement. You don't need procurement to go through any procurement process to give reward to staff. I thought the Auditor General was harsh and unreasonable in his opinion on that also. The issue about getting this Starlink thing, also World Bank issue, right, meant to help, and the LRA went through those things, and they eventually paid and they were reimbursed. So I think sometimes the Auditor General, the intent of the audit is meant to avoid fraud, waste, and abuse. And in certain cases, if the system were not put into play, you get but you don't put into the area that people misappropriated, wherein the process was not as it was meant to have been done or the way they went about it. But I think it will take some time So I feel that's a single point, and I don't know if the president will say he's not happy. If the president is not happy, meaning the president being fair or misinformation. But if the president were to go through this step that I just raised in terms of the revenue code, that portion of exempting the custom bureau of using certain amount of money and other aspect of the report, there's some part of the report I do agree with the Auditor General opinion, and there's some part of the report I vehemently disagree. I thought it was unfair.
But Pewee,
but I'm happy that Pewee have changed his tone, because yesterday he was very tough on it.
Yeah, and that's what I said to you. I said,
boss is somebody who I respect a lot. He's a man of integrity. I've high regards for him. And that's why when I heard today that the president is not happy with him, I was like, I mean, because what my understanding is that money in question that JC talked about, that money was done on late Thomas Dona. Okay, Thomas Dona's peace to his ashes. I respect him too. The man of integrity too. But I think that money was put in a special account. I don't know whether that money was used. I think we're putting a special account, because that even the money concerning the former Minister of Commerce, that money was put in a special account, because they said the money was for the Minister of Commerce, right? But then they said wait after election before we touch that money. I think that what happened. But when the only mistake I think the Minister of Commerce did was he shouldn't have bought the car that caused that amount. I think
it would have been
in the range of with the government.
But Tomalin, this is what we are talking about, the preponderance of the evidence. This is the same man who authorized Ami Modad to buy that kind of expensive car.
No, Mr. Gilman.
He's giving wrong information.
Listen. Tomalin.
But you said
I know you guys are talk about Jallah that your boy.
No.
Let's do this.
Give me.
Listen, the evidence was that Modad, the $92 million, $92,000 car he bought, it was through the LRA. Isn't it so?
LRA did not purchase it.
Excuse me.
Mr. Gilman, he said, I mean, Commerce got money yet.
Yes.
There's some money for Commerce Ministry.
That's correct.
What they do with the money? Well, not his business.
LRA did not determine how much they should pay for car.
Kehleboe, can you make a disclaimer here that Double Jallah is a friend of yours?
He is my friend.
Thank you. Okay, let's move to the next one.
It's not a disclaimer, it's a full disclosure.
Okay, full disclosure. Good. That's good. Okay, let's go.
Before you move to the next point quickly, let me say this to Tomalin. The reason why I took time, and this morning I started skipping through the document, making some research about the revenue code and other things, right? And I've spoken extensively with my own big brother on this show before, and we have normal conversation. We have some reasonable tete-a-tete conversation with issue of national concern, right? And I believe in respecting also. He's a mathematician, a politician, and a reasonable person. Now, whenever we have to kind of a conversation midnight, it will take me some time to go back and research. I started researching the revenue code, and I went into it, and I went through the Auditor General report. I haven't even exhausted the report in totality, and I'm trying to do that. Hopefully, between now after the show, I will do that, and I will have more informed decision on this beginning Monday or so. Good. But I'm convinced now and moving forward that part of the Auditor General report was very unfair, and I disagree with most part of the report adopting the Double Jallah administration on most of these things. And I will come up with more other point and exhibit.
Good. I'm going to go back to the original.
Pewee is a researcher, and he did a very good job. But what brought me to come on the show now, when Pewee started to talk about the revenue code, in the PFN law, he actually made an exception. That unless there is a new law that overrides this, right?
Yeah. And the revenue code 11.6
that section of the PFN law.
Yes.
The GSC guys accountant, some of them auditors, but they always do poor job. I can tell you that. It's because Liberians are not educated to auditing process.
most of the time they jump to, oh, GSC says so, GSC, and many of the people who are audited, they themselves don't take time to read the report and also challenge GSC on some of the things they do. I will give you a particular, without giving a specific, there was an audit done by GSC of a former government official. The transaction was done through LBDR Bank, and that money was transferred to a service provider by LBDR through authorization of the government agency. When the person left government and GSC went, their auditors went and asked an unauthorized person at LBDR. And LBDR person will say, oh, the money was transferred to an OC account in the UK. GSC auditors took and put that in the account that this person transferred $1.1 million to an unexplained account OC. When the person saw, and they didn't even talk to the person, that former government official was sitting down right there in Monrovia. GSC made no effort to contact the person. When they got aware of that report, they hired a lawyer, went to LBDR, and met John Davis. And John Davis said, there has been no audit on this account because we are aware of the transfer that was made. It was made to the OC vendor that provided the services. So GSC cannot put that in the audit report. Then John Davis said, you'll write a formal letter to LBDR, then we will write a formal reply. And the day they took it back to Winston Langer at GSC, and Winston said, oh yeah, that was an oversight. So what you do, we can't correct now. The audit is over. So wait, when PAC, when they call the forum, we'll go there now, you explain your side, then we'll correct it right there. So why you put this person repetition in your audit without doing anything? So GSC does bad job many times. I can tell you that.
Okay,
It's just that many of the people don't take time to do it.
Yeah, but just something quickly though. But you know, when the guy was appointed, this Garguah, this guy who's the auditor general, but then what I got to find out recent times, he's not all that people said.
No, he's not.
Yeah, and he got some issues. So and not because President Broga kept him, he got rid of all the tenure people and kept this guy. People saw the guy, some saying no. People who he have dealt with, we have audited. They have been saying things.
No, he's not. He's not why you are.
Okay, guys, let me welcome Dr. Peabody. Doc, how you doing there?
Even the order you did honor, we
Good
are.
to see you. Good to see everybody, man. Good to see everybody.
Mr. Gongloe, I say welcome to Dr. Peabody. How you doing, Chief?
Thank you, guys. Good to see everybody, man. Good to see everybody.
I jump over Sarah.
But no, give me just a minute, please. You emphasize, I know you're going to continue your moderation, and you've been doing very well.
How you doing, sir? How you guys doing?
I'm sorry.
You've been doing very well. You've been doing very well, big brother, on that. But you emphasize this issue about this report, 6.7 million. It was part of it was a topical issue for you yesterday.
Yes.
And it's important to allay some of the fear of what you started harboring about this thing, right? Let's go back to this same report about wherein the Auditor General report is saying that the LRA boss paid some money to the telco, and it was wrong to do that. The reason he said was he sacked it, that was wrong to do. For he said the telco does not have a business registration. But let me remind the NRA boss that the telco was established by an act of legislature.
No, say GSC boss. Say GSC.
I mean, the GSC boss, sorry. By an act of legislature. It does not have a business registration. The telco does not. It's a government institution. So you name the NRA boss for issuing something. He said they don't have good. That is wrong again. And we will take some time. I want us to take some time in the show to really dissect part of the report, so you will understand that the current boss didn't do as you perceived yesterday and the day before.
I am reading the report.
I think you should concede, openly admit that on those points you are in error.
No. I am reading the report. If you now come out and say the report was wrong, then you got to tell us where the report was wrong. I am
one classic example right there.
I am reading verbatim.
If you read the report, 1 minute.
Yes.
If you read the report, what you have to do is to juxtapose the report with the other laws we have. If actually someone did something wrong, let's say, for instance, the issue of where custom can collect certain money and use for themselves. So if you can collect money and use, you can establish an extra account.
Listen,
so that is right.
That is not my job. My job is to report, and I'm reporting.
No, the report you valid.
Listen.
Go ahead.
Listen, like a job of Tomalin. Chief, here we are. I'm going to read this because it's a very major news.
Can we set this whole thing already for Monday? Time we have maybe Joshua Blair be coming.
We're going to get all the information.
Joshua Blair not coming, man. The man said you're going to Ganta. They
have a problem in Grand G. So he rushing to.
It's not true because I'm online with somebody now.
The man talk.
Kehleboe, what you want us to do? Go tie the man?
The man will come.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen.
Can prove some point. I'm sending the video to you so you can play.
Let me welcome Victor Nambe.
You work on Serial.
I did. Serial grow woman. We don't need to work on grow woman.
I protect this queen.
I work about 200.
What happened to grow people?
What are grow people?
They got two of them here now. So watch out.
Why is a grow one from Peabody?
Hey. Victor Nambe, welcome. And who's the beautiful gentleman here? His name, I can't see his name.
Gentleman can be beautiful.
Yes, Mr. George. Who is the? I can't see his name from here.
It is Aaron Linkford.
You're not a Republican. I told Republican say anything.
Okay, great. Welcome. Now, go ahead. Mr. George.
Do you hear me?
Yes. King George, Dr. Peabody, and the rest of our panelists, there is something here that we need to talk about, and it's being reported in the United States, and it was carried this morning by the Liberia investigator. So a Liberian-born U.S. immigration officer indicted for $20,000 bribery. And the reason this is important because he duped a lot of Liberians in the PA area. And it reads, a Liberian-born immigration officer has been indicted in the federal court for bribery, spending more than a decade. The U.S. prosecutor accused him of exploiting his government position to extort vulnerable immigrants seeking lawful statuses in the United States. Mr. Amara Dukley, 43, a naturalized U.S. citizen originated from the Republic of Liberia and resident of Parkside, Delaware County, Pennsylvania, was formally charged Thursday with bribery of a public official by the U.S. Attorney's Office in Philadelphia. Dukley served as an immigration officer with the United States Citizenship Immigration, USCIS, specializing in fraud detection and national security. A criminal complaint filed by the federal prosecutor and the Department of Homeland Security's Office of Inspection General points disturbing portraits of betrayal and abuse by the authority. This is serious, Mr. George. This is a Liberian guy who came to this country, naturalized, joined the military, and when he came from Iraq, God blessed him, and he got hired by Homeland Security in the immigration section, and he, in turn, feasted on the Liberian people in the Delaware Valley area, not only Liberians, but other immigrants. In fact, the FBI set up a sting. In it, a terrorist guy who claimed to be a terrorist said his immigration status was on hold because he's a terrorist, and he promised the guy that he was going to remove the terrorist charge. And not knowing he was talking to an FBI agent. I'm bringing this up because our people have been victimized. Few have come forward. Several have, and not few, several have come forward. Some as high as 9,000, 5,000, 3,000. And our people have been victimized because they want statuses. Your take, Honorable George. This is in your neighborhood.
Well, I've heard bits and pieces of that case today about that matter, but I've not really gone into the details about it. But I know I saw another release from USIS, the United States Immigration Service, that's saying that if you're a green card holder and you are involved in terroristic activities, supporting or whatever the case, anything that tends to undermine the security of this country as a green card holder, you will be revoked and deported. I don't know what I don't, and then again, we just saw today the Supreme Court, even though the ruling was complicated, many people just ran with it, they don't understand it too. But they only telling they say no federal judge can just issue an injunction on
the entire nation.
Yeah, so but they make it, but Trump ran with it today as a victory lap. But again, we all know that's not what it meant. That that if you are born to a parent that is non-citizen, you're now a citizen. No, and I mean it was clear. But with that case, we got to listen to what this guy is saying. His lawyer got to speak. We got to find out what they respond to the charges, because we just hearing the government say that he was involved in such a thing, and if that what the government is saying is true, then I think he's in serious problem, very serious problem. You cannot. I don't understand. Everybody's different though, but people country, the laws are there. They say you do they want to arrest you? Do they want to arrest you? Do they want? And the people, their security network is so sophisticated. They are not. You try to even beat the system, all kinds of stuff. They will catch you. The people. I mean, if people went after those who do fraudulent things in the country, they go after you. They catch you. I don't know how many years they will take. They will still come. Will still catch you. So I wait to listen to his side of the story from his defense team and hear what he got to say. But right now, if what the government is saying is true, he's in serious problem.
Mr. Namwe, this is in your territory. It's in the Delaware Valley area there, and he was charged in Philadelphia. It said a woman paid $1,500 with between 2014 and 2015 with the expectation of expedited citizenship processing. He never saw it. He never did it. Another West African man who paid $1,500 based on community rumor that Dukley could fix his status. Then two individuals who encountered Dukley in 2018 during a compliant visit were told that paperwork was problematic. He gave them phone numbers on the side, and someone on the other end demanded $4,000 to fix their paper. So he didn't only feast on the Liberian people, but anybody else in the African community that needed a paper fix. And the last one, he charged $9,000 for the guy who said he was a terrorist. He promised the guy he would remove the terrorist charge, and the guy's going to get the paper, not knowing the guy was an FBI undercover. So this is a gentleman that have done, and these 5 people that show up in the Liberian community, they are brave to just come forward. A lot of people don't want to come forward because of now what's happening, Mr. Namwe.
Yeah, I mean, if Joshua Milton Bly or Yeka Kolo ever wanted to become a U.S. citizen and have their involvement in the Liberian civil crisis, expunged, I guess they know now who to go to. Look, this is pretty, it's close to home for me. My sister-in-law practices immigration law in the Philadelphia area, so I kind of have an idea. Because sometimes people have called me, and help me. I mean, ask me to help them, connect them, and sometimes in the process, they tell me their story. So yeah, it's unfortunate. I agree with Chief Tomalin. The law is the law. Our people. If he's an immigration officer, really, he's not an immigration lawyer, and obviously he's impersonating. I don't know him. I never met him before. I never heard of him. But yeah, if he's falling foul of the law, I think the law should be, the law should come down on him. And I hope he will also restitute these people's money, because people come in this country, we all know how hard people work, to earn their little money. False representation is wrong. So I really don't have much to say on that. I hope at the end of the process, these people will be made whole.
Great. Sarah, you are in a healthcare business. I know there's a lot of immigrants in that particular field, and having the paper is a serious thing. And these people are paying lots of money to people who, a guy who is a legitimate employee of the Immigration Service, say he works from within, he can do this, he can do that, and taking this much money.
Yes, thank you guys for having me. I want to say hi to everyone and also to our followers. It's great to be here. I mean, Mr. Gilbert, the same thing we've been talking, the corruption thing. Corruption, that's corruption. We tell the same corruption happen from our country, we bring it in the people country. You are not an immigration officer. You are not anybody.
No, he is an immigration officer.
Okay, he is, but he is not close with the authority to give people paper, is he?
That's correct. That's correct.
So at this point, he has committed fraud. I mean, allegedly, until he's proven guilty. But at this point, it's just sad because all of those people that he tried to help, that he robbed them, I don't know whether they are victims or they are accomplices of the crime. I don't know. But I think the law will decide that, and it's just unfortunate for those of them that, went through him to be able to get the papers. It's just unfortunate. Our people need to learn to do the right thing. And the same thing we be saying all the time. We know what is right. When we go back home, we do the wrong thing. We know when we in Liberia, we can stop at a stoplight. When we go to Liberia, we won't go those days. That kind of habit just get used to people. And then when they go in civilized world, they don't know how to behave themselves. It's just unfortunate.
Mr. Kehleboe, we are talking about a place called Parkside, Delaware County in Pennsylvania. You guys who live in that area, Parkside. This gentleman is preying on innocent people over there.
Well, two things I can say. That case presents in itself a different argument also. So I heard Mr. Nangwe saying, I hope the people can get our money back. They will not get our money back because they themselves were trying to engage in crime. Because bribery is a crime, so they themselves are committing crime. They didn't have the legal status, or maybe they were in immigration problems, so they were seeking help. Through the wrong means, not going to a lawyer. But here, what I'm thinking about, I don't know if it is possible under the law for these people that are considered as victims of a legitimate immigration agent, acting on behalf of immigration, can they go file lawsuit against class action lawsuit against immigration? That we don't know whether this man didn't have authority. This man is in immigration uniform and telling us we should pay this money and you do this. So we felt we're dealing with a legitimate authority. So maybe they should go look for a lawyer, because there are lawyers who will find a way around these things to say they can file a lawsuit. And maybe through settlement, they can get a status. You can say, okay, because it's like Sarah is a nurse practitioner. If she's working for a particular hospital, she's in her scrub. I'm seeing her acting in her official capacity with the ID card, everything. And she's doing her leg on the side. If it is wrong, I could also go through the hospital and say, your employee, maybe doing this, did this to me. I don't know. I think it's possible under the law. This is the United States where there's so many room under the law, and which President Trump is taking advantage of now, even on the Breton issue. If you read the Constitution, President Trump got some issue there. I listened to him today. He's saying, listen, this law, this Constitution provision was made to satisfy the issue of free trade on free slaves, because the question of slaves were not citizens, and they born their children here. So since they were not considered human beings, and they started to have children. Are their children American citizens? This provision of the Constitution was meant to address that era. It was not meant for illegal immigrants. That's a strong argument. So it'll be an interesting case when the Supreme Court actually begins to look at the merits of the case, because what they acted on today is just a procedural issue, whether local judge have authority to issue a nationwide ban or not, So it's an interesting thing.
Thank you, Dr. Peabody. I think this case might sound something that you are quite familiar with or aware of. We are selling something. I think to some degree, somebody was selling fake nursing degree, and all that other stuff, and it came down to this. Here we are. This person is selling fake government papers, things that he doesn't have. They're not legit. And for the FBI to set up a sting to actually catch you in the act is a tough one, Dr. Peabody.
Sarah, good to see everybody, man. Good to see everybody. But yeah, it's it, Jerome. I mean, how much more one can ask for? You've gone to one of the highest level to be in the U.S. immigration. That means you have federal clearance. You're way up there when it comes to immigration. You make good money, probably P22, 23, going up that level. What more do you need? So, I mean, when it comes to corruption, it's systemic, and it boils down to even the laymen in Liberia, and they travel with it to other places. And that's what we're seeing. You're not a judge. Only a judge can really, in the immigration system, only the judge can really litigate or remove, certain things from people cases and things like that, or those guys who work directly in the immigration litigating, people cases and things like that, but people and the Liberians too, want to believe in encouraging people to impersonate. And that's exactly what we see there. Oh, I know one guy, he's an immigration man. We can talk to this guy. You don't even sit down and do your homework that this guy have no authority on certain adjudication. He does not, but yet and still we jump, we encourage them, and they eat our money. But I mean, this guy is a disgrace, because if you reach that far of the federal government, you working, immigration officers make a good chunk of money. They live good. You're working for the federal government, the United States immigration, anywhere when it comes to security with the federal government, you're up there, you're very high up there, because thousands of people go after these jobs, and to sit there and disgrace itself, that's a complete disgrace. And tell me, man, if the FBI have been following you, it's not 1 month or 2 months. They've been following you for years. So they got evidence that will be brought before you in court, and you probably going to take the next charge would be to just get out there and plead guilty. That's all he would do. But it's a disgrace to himself, disgrace to his job, his family, and all to be embarrassed like that. Don't mess with the fact. Do not. If you can do anything, don't mess with the fact.
Before I go to Mr. Pewee, let me go to our guest here. I can't see his name. But, sir, one of the things they talk about here, the FBI, the federal government were looking for motive. Why would somebody who came in this country and in the good graces of the federal government do this? So they did the background check to find out that financial motive and ongoing probe. Investigator found out that he had lived way above his means. He was $32,000 in debt with credit cards, amount exceeding to some point charge off. As of March 2025, he was behind with his mortgage and facing collection and all of that. Your take on this about Liberian people, we live way beyond our means.
Well, first of all, let me say good evening to all of you, and to the viewers as well. My name is Lofa Gongloe, but I think the reason why I can see my name is the byline under the closing argument stuff. So it's covering my name.
Okay.
Yeah. But
where are you joining us from?
I'm joining you from Norway, the Royal Kingdom of Norway.
Oh, welcome.
In Europe. And I consider myself to be the only European representative that will always come on closing argument. This is my second time, if I'm not mistaken. Or maybe
your fourth or fifth time.
Yeah,
No,
but
man, you know you're
the
always
reason,
here. You can't remember.
Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
they should be a fifth
hey,
appeal.
Cyril, you talk. Mr. Gamer is 65. I'm turning 62 in 2 days time on the 29th. So you know what it means to be 62, and you still look good, and a lot of things up here. So we
That's
can
right.
forget
Go
easily.
ahead. Don't mind. Jump over.
But you know, my take on that issue is that Liberian people, or not Liberian people, not everybody, but some people, or some Liberian people, will never leave their behavior behind. And I don't know how the system works, the immigration system works in the United States. I've lived there for some time, but of course, I was not on any immigration status. I was just a visitor several times in and out. So I didn't have anything to worry about when it comes to immigration. As long as I'm clear and I'm in the system, I'm walking around, I got my documents, I'm okay. But in Europe here, there is nobody that can expedite on your behalf through the immigration system. It's not possible. Okay? I came to Europe as a legitimate traveler on a passport that I came with. And when I decided to seek asylum, I had to go to the immigration. The first thing they tell you is report yourself to the police station if you want to seek asylum. The police will do all your preliminaries and then they'll send you to the immigration. So there is nobody that is coming to front for you. It's not possible. Unless you want to be somebody who is not using their head. Like the Liberian people who have been giving this money to this man, it's the same thing somebody just said in Liberia. We let him take a shortcut, right? Oh, I know one guy. This man himself is a Liberian like you. He was not born in America. He's not, even though he was for the immigration, but working and being the authority are two different things. So you take all your hard-earned money and give it to one man who himself had to go through the same process to expedite on your behalf. I think it was crazy. And like Gongloe said, or my nephew said, every corruption every bribery involves two people, the receiver and the giver. So if these people are not giving this guy the money, he will not receive it. And guess what? You just read his profile, his credit profile, whatever, that he had lived far above his limit. He got a lot of debts with credit cards. He was back on his mortgage. So, and you in that condition, and you sitting and people bringing thousands of dollars to you, and you will get it and probably get away. Why not? So, and somebody made a parallel and they say the monkey scent cannot leave the bone. The scent of the flesh on the monkey, if you eat it, you eat all the flesh, the smell will still remain on the bone. So those people come from Liberia, they are corrupt already, and they end up in the Western world, and they think they can do the same thing. But the good thing in the Western world is that the law is effective. No matter what you do, it will take a long time, but it will still nap you. So, I think people should begin to learn some of these things, or else you will always have victims that will fall to these kind of things, So I think it was wrong. We're not passing judgment yet. We don't know whether he's actually guilty, but I know the FBI will not, accuse anybody if they know they don't have any proof. So I think it's bad.
Pewee, it doesn't look good either way for our friend and brother. Like I was saying, when I came, I was at the University of New Jersey, Rutgers University, and my godparents said, even though you go to church, when you find a guy and you're talking to him or her, and he start with the thing, I'm a Christian, trust me. Or I'm a good Muslim. Muslims don't do this. Say run as far as you can. They're coming to zap you. So here we are. We come from Liberia. We either good Muslim or good Christian, and we this, we that. And then you do this to another good Muslim or another good Christian. People who are desperate. Some people are so desperate they could do almost anything. And this young man is taking advantage of those folks.
Yeah, exactly. Where I was headed, I was reflecting on that while the other comrades were giving their own side of the on this issue. When folks are desperate, they tend to do anything, right? It's just like you see someone is drowning in the ocean, then even if you were to send in a power sword that will cut off the hand, he's gonna hold it. and it is that. So I think it's unfortunate that he that was entrusted with this extraordinary opportunity, he messed it up. Even get set right. Trust me, if I would ever have that right in this country, even with the codification, all the things we have, I would cherish. Not only that, I would do that, but I would hold it like chicken egg, and behave like a church boy. Right. So it is very unfortunate that he will find himself in that, because I thought he should have known better. Liberian men would say this to you, because first and foremost, the whole system that he works in is a system. One man cannot arbitrarily change anything. It's a system. Even those of us that went through, you will go through this process, and the person will tell you, say, hey, okay, the supervisor have to go through this and go through that. Because given you came here far before some of us, right? Far. Even Mr. Nyenwolo will admit to that. But it's just quite unfortunate that he will want to put, and again, when those things unfold, we want to see where did the person come from. It will be, I mean, in the report that you read, it says Liberian and all of things. It's just quite unfortunate. And I know part of his victims are not only Liberians, his victims may be cut across. But this is a lesson, and even that, and part of the reason investigators want to go far beyond to find out his where he lived. Now, all the things he was indulging in, still he was not on time with his mortgage payment. You see, quite unfortunate, right? And it's one of the reasons. And it's just like in our own parlance in Liberia, we'll say the rogue wife will always say, my husband will bring more tomorrow. So it'll be very extravagant.
Yeah, let eat all.
So maybe my husband will bring more tomorrow, right? So yeah, that's just eat. So he was bent on just lavishing money around him. When he expect to pay to get some the day you pay his mortgage, then nothing will come. So he started getting backward in terms of that. And the investigator found out that it's part of the reason why this dude is involved into it. But it just explained the fact that we have to be more professional and stand with our integrity in this area. We understand that this is a challenge process when you live in the West and all of things, but learn to be a kind of a good Liberian citizen you are. We Liberians, from a general perspective, we don't really indulge into those kind of a criminality that we border on our country reputation. We agree back home there's corruption and all of things, and that is also tantamount to corruption. But what I'm saying here is that I think it's unfortunate, and I don't want to bash him too hard, but it's very unfortunate that allegedly for now, I know, but for as you said, part of when they were hitting on him, closing on him, imagine someone even posted, one of the agents posted to be, you see, he went as far as even attempting to hurt someone that when he that violated the oath he took. He took an oath to be loyal to this country. He violated that. Because if you went to you went to take on your citizenship, the oath-taking process, you have to admit that you will defend and protect the United States of America. I think shame on him. It's unfortunate that he had to violate that. And he understands. Tomalin says something. I think, I'm not that the Peabody says something. I think he's going to just plead. The best way to do is to move and plead guilty. And begin to prepare for the consequences thereof. But shame on. It's unfortunate that you have to do this. And as I said, I don't want to hit on him hard, but sometimes we have to learn to live in our means. Now, no one is saying nobody. Everybody will want some career advancement and livelihood improvement. We all want to see that. I can remember back in the days, if you had to see, maybe I was Sunday next time if I was watching, maybe this. Because my first television I ever had was the 14-inch. You know, the television with the kind of big butt behind it.
That's right.
But everybody now, you want to see someone watching flat screen. I think we agree. As we want to see our livelihood improve, but we have to do it in conformity with realistic time in terms of you have to work and earn some of those things. I'm not an angel. None of us here are angels, but we should tend to at least live within our means. Then it will evolve, because the Bible says the law for too much money is the beginning of what? You will end it for me. So I think that's where the problem came from. He started living above, and the report said he started living above his means. That was the conduit by which he got into this thing. He's in a total mess. Only Jesus Christ now can save him. But that.
I got a little comment I want to make, or just to buttress what you're saying. A week from last Saturday, I went to Lowe's to get a propane tank for my grill because we're having the Riraji, stuff here at my house.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to, as soon as I entered Lowe's, I saw this African American dude. He gave me his card. He said he can do this, he can do that. So when I look at the card, he had a whole bunch of stuff on it that he can do. So I said, I said, I would definitely need you. I said, because most of the time I have a need for people to come to my house and do stuff. So thank you for giving me this card. And then he helped me look around. And I asked him after I got you buying what I wanted to buy, I asked him whether they had a propane tank. He said, oh, yes, that's a propane tank out there. We're selling it. You can meet me outside. So I said, okay, because they do usually bring it inside. So after I got done buying all my stuff, I went outside to meet him at a tank, where they had a propane tank.
Yeah.
So he gave me, after I took the tank, he said, you can only give me $20. Actually, the propane tank was $64 and it was on sale. It was on sale for $21. So he said, you can have the propane tank, you can give me $20. So all that transaction was in front of the camera. Okay? It was in front of the camera. The place is camera, all over camera. Mm-hmm. So I told him, I said, but don't I have to pay for it and get a receipt? He said, oh no, you don't have to get a receipt. You can just give me the money. I'm like, So my stupid self, I thought the propane tank, I thought I was talking about a good deal the guy would give me. Like I actually thought this was his personal thing. So I took the propane tank, went to my car, put it in my car, and I sat in my car for the longest, thinking. I said, I think this is a black deal. So I went back to the store. I took the propane tank because I felt to myself, anything you buy from the store, you must have a receipt.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, but why did he give me receipt? So I went back to the store. As soon as I got in the store, I met him. He said, oh, why did you come back? I said, because my husband told me that I have to come back and get a receipt. I just framed it that way. I said, my husband told me that I have to come back and get a receipt. Oh, what did you explain to him? I said, in my heart, I said, sweetheart, I'm not doing this. So we went to the cashier, the self-service thing, and I purchased the thing, got my flat receipt before my conscience could settle down to come with that propane tank.
It's unfortunate that he'll be in this thing, man, on a serious note, but you don't mess, as Peabody say again, you don't mess with the Fed, and it's serious.
Little things, some of the things we don't expect, we can get easily caught up in it. Yeah. I mean, I was gonna be, if this thing had gone through and he was caught, I was gonna be implicated as well.
Yeah.
Accomplice to the crime. I gave him money. I didn't get receipt for my item, and stuff like that. I called him money. I was telling him, he was laughing at me.
It's unfortunate. Honestly,
you wonder with two propane tank, one that works and one that is empty.
It will surprise you guys, right? Some of the job we do, right? You can. I just need your name. I put your name in the system. I can tell you all your crime in America. So during the political season, somebody was attacking. They were calling. The first thing happened was they calling their own left spoon. Calling me the Hebrew boy. Me all gonna come and attacking her. So as soon as they check man, the person want hit the person stuff. The person had they had a shoplifting at Walmart and one store called Ross. So I said, but you're not allowed to we're not allowed to do it. So I said, a woman. I said, you don't want to tell me the thing. I said, and you got it in a record. Oh, when I lost you, the person black me. I said, you black me for what? I want to expose you. But you got to find out that many people say get access to. Okay, so you'll be careful here. You get access to. Okay, where you can if
Myself get it. Get it.
Full record, right? And you won't believe it, right? There are a lot of people on the blue app and be causing people here.
Oh yeah.
But when you put that thing on, you see the kind of thing they get there. They get it one for where's other one, a popular one on the place to take the people thing, the thing they put on the clothes. The thing what?
Yeah, when I get alarm.
Yeah, but before you did the store, the people got to take it from there with a machine, right?
Yeah.
Cut that one there too. The cover what I want to. So I don't want to the one they put the boat clothes on and walking with the people, they cut that one too. Then I say y'all be on Facebook making y'all be attacking people on Facebook, yeah? Where you can record your guy? Then you're talking people, yeah? But you know when you do it, they'll say, oh, they men went, they men went anyway, affect your job, so you don't do the thing about just to remind some of them that they can do. They're brave. I mean, you enter the post to work camera all over the place. But yet still you try to do the kind of thing.
But
get up.
Totally, it has nothing to do with bravery. Let me tell you. No, that's why the people say the leper will never leave the color behind or the spouse behind. They got born criminals. They got people who are just born criminals. You know, no matter what. You know that some people can steal from themselves. Trust me, you'll not believe it. It may sound funny, but some people can steal from themselves. You know,
I always hear this. I always hear this. How somebody will steal for themselves?
Imagine the man or the woman cooking her own food, or the guy cooking his own food, or he got his own money in it, man. But you go take some, you put the money and say, okay, I got the money for a special project, right? Then you go and take it.
No, I would disagree with that. It's not stealing for yourself. Maybe you are not just disciplined to keep the money.
I think that's a soft example.
No, you are taking it cautiously.
There are people who are just criminal by nature.
Anyway,
yes, there are people who are just criminal by nature.
Anyway, the money
I will get you this example. I was in Houston. I was at a gas station in Houston and trying to fill up. Then an incident occurred. This black boy, he used to be in California with his girlfriend. The woman was pregnant. He was involved in crime, and in Florida, and he had been in jail for about 15 years. The woman delayed all the charges about 15 years, according to what the girl was explaining. And this girl had been fighting all along to get this guy out until they finally put him on parole. This girl drove from California to Florida to go get this guy. All along, they in this car, they are coming from Florida, Mississippi, all along coming. In Houston, they got concluded that, okay, I got this crime on me. I will not work. When I go, I'll be a brother on this girl. So no need. Let me just go back to jail. So he decided that he would do something so he can go back to jail. Because, he said, this is what I know. I can't do anything anymore. I didn't go to school, nothing. So they stopped at this gas station. Unfortunately, this old lady came to fill our tank. And this guy jumped on it. He didn't see anything. But he just jumped on the old lady, started wrestling with her. When they grabbed him and said, no, I don't want to steal from her, but I want to go back to jail. You see, he said, because that's what I know best. Because nothing I can do. I don't want to go out and be late. See, so, and this is a man who have been in there, and any normal person will be hoping that, okay, let me get out. So, and look at the kind of example Tomalin giving you, the camera everywhere watching you.
Oh, yeah.
Then that alarm thing on the clothes. Take it away.
So them off causing people quick.
It just such discipline. Right, and I can record as a story that something often I can read my two daughters whenever we are in Walmart, other things shopping. Sometimes they are so mindful to the extent of this thing. I observed other time. I got it. I scanned all the things I'm putting away, but she have gone to get her the chewing gun. So she came back. She thought I didn't scan the other one. So she had to. So now in that I want the last time I say, hey, it's not because of Uncle same thing. I will be paying the money. And I hear nothing. Don't be mindful. You have to rescan, so I will double scan some of those things. Because the problem there is, it's not people that will always do those things will do it time and again. So now it can be bad for you to catch you. And most of the people you'll see there shoplifting. What the hell you going to shoplift in this country? You will not understand. But again, you're right. There are tendencies people will have. People will always have the tendency to do those things. Some people will go and they will double sack themselves. Right, so somebody will go and wear it because it's not all of the things that we have from the store. I got this security, something on the right. So let's say I got this shirt on. Some people will go and they will wear this shirt, they will wear 3 and just walk out. I mean, the day they say, and that's what we can say in the bro. I won't let pronounce again. Now they for a rule.
One day for master.
But there was a time where I come in out of the store. I don't know what happened, but the things that the line went off. Boom, boom, boom. I said, "What's that?"
No, it's regular. Yeah.
So I was
mistake for them.
I just thought somebody had put something in my thing, possibly for me also or something like that nature. I came back. I said, "What?" And I looked right and like people were playing. I said, "What?" And by the time you know, man, in minutes will be on Facebook.
No, it's funny. It happened to me the last time in one of the malls. I can't remember what Christian where, but. We bought this, and the person acted a little careless. They didn't remove everything. So going to the gate and they started the alarm. boom, boom, it starts to alarm. And then you have to go back, and then when we went back, all of a sudden when they check, they received that, and the person, oh, my bag, okay. Sometimes it can be mistakes on them, but they just get some people that are just born to be real shoplifters. Some people are into it, and it's part of them. It's within their bloodstream. And there are people in their place that when they, and again, as you are saying to me, I work with some group of people before. I was having conversation with them. The other guy told me, say, I had some time, he just believe the jail is the best place for him to be.
Oh yeah. There's some people.
Yeah, he told me clearly. He told me,
people, especially if they have second chance to get them.
Yeah, he told me.
Work. But each time you go work, they say bring your background check.
Yeah,
it comes up, and I think there's a law on state that say, look, even if the person come up with that the first time, the person is the first time offender, give them opportunity to serve. Don't just reject them, you know. And that's what happens. People.
Yeah.
And get that, you know.
Man say there. I told him, say why? He said, yeah.
No, but the funny one, this Ivorian guy, the guy was getting deported. So apparently he either he Chilean man or somebody took, you know, when you're getting deported, you can't carry a bag, no suitcase. But if you get ready to carry some, you know, small bag with maybe a few t-shirts or more possible you to carry with you. So the guy, the woman brought his American girl, brought the two kids to see their part off of one of the kids. But the guy that brought him, apparently that was Peku or something like that. The guy in handcuffs with the T on his foot, he said, instead of he focus on it going, he said, oh, that's the dude there. I said, well, man, you're not coming back yet.
You lost that privilege, eh?
What you do to the guy?
Yeah, man. And the people part there, man, you're not coming back. If you have to come back, yeah.
You going with Abidjan, you come here, Jenna.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, let's move to the next topic here. Mr. George, I think this one, you have interest in this one. Lands and Mines and Energy, right? The boss, the ministry have budgeted. The estimate was they have budgeted for $112 million for the year. They actually raised $118 million, exceeding their target by approximately 5%. $6.2 million surplus.
The money cycle there, man.
This is Mine and Energy. Well, let me go to Victor. Victor, been a while since you spoke. Your homeboy from Monroe College. No, I tell you from Totalin. Where the Lands and Energy man from? The Lands and Energy man. Where his name?
Wemape?
Wemape. That Totalin High man.
No, I'm not sure. No, I don't think so.
Okay. Well, for the year they went in, the estimated target was they were hoping to raise $112 million. At the end of the year, they said they raised $118 million, $6.2 million more. Then this is commendable. If this is true, then the question is, what happened to all this money? And people are not being paid. I don't know what's happening, but this is commendable, Victor.
Yeah, I mean, overperformance, I think is commendable. I agree with you. I hadn't seen this, so I haven't read up on it. I don't know the details, but yeah, based on what you're reporting, I think that's laudable to Minister Pay, Wilman, if he actually overperformed. And of course, yeah, that's a good question too. Where does this money go? Because we're hearing these complaints about people's pay being delayed. I'm not sure if his particular ministry is on that list of people whose pay has been delayed. But of course, the payroll, I think, is a general payroll from the government. But congratulations to Minister Pay if the reporting is true. Like I said again yesterday and other times, I think if something positive happens, I think we will, we will commend the government and those areas where we think they can do better. We will call them out. So I think this is one of the good days for them. If the minister is overperforming. Now, the question is, there are a lot of people who are going in paying for prospector licenses, trying to. So hopefully these people are not being overcharged. But again, I will stay positive on this. And so I commend the minister, and I'll pass it back to you.
Dr. Peabody.
I just want to.
It looks like Wilma Pay is doing something right.
I just want to add to what Mr. Nyenwolo said. If you guys are making these huge revenue coming in, why the government keeps struggling. You can't even pay people. You can't even manage certain area in the government. You can't even handle. So I mean, he's making stride, but let the Liberian people see it. Let's see what it's going to. How is it helping to have stable electricity in Monrovia and its environment? How is it helping JFK that is so dilapidated? You can hardly. I mean, they don't even have washing machine at JFK. Maybe they bought some, but when I visited the hospital there and made a huge donation, people were washing a patient cloth with their hands, their bare hands and stuff like that. So let the money that we must see the impact. I mean, Women Pay, he's a good guy. Let me be realistic. Women Pay, I mean, I admire that guy, to be honest. He when he was Secretary General for the Unity Party and then went to another politician that died in Monrovia there, or Dr. Cassell with all the morale and all the 7 car or PPE money and some stuff and things that he took there, So, but I admire Women Pay. Women Pay been through a lot. He struggled a lot. I'm glad that he can raise millions of dollars exceeding the limit, and probably put a couple in his pocket for suffering too much. So I admire him, and I hope that money can be used. Let's see what the money really being spent in Liberia. Helping the people, not just by mouth or saying we raise this amount, but how is it impact?
Sarah, at the beginning of this administration, I think the LRA and then the Port Authority came up with the same thing with Mr. Tyler at Transport, that they had raised in excess of, I think, $6 or $7 million in advance. And they were doing all the only for the folks at the ministry to start protesting that they were not being paid, some were not paid 2-3 months. So how do we find out whether these things are true?
Unfortunately, I don't know whether they have anywhere that we can go. We can only probably find out through the budget, because sometimes most of this money, they line them up in the budget. And then at the end of the day, those monies are, redirected to something else. I was watching, I think it was Spoon TV or one of these shows, where one of the guys on the show was saying that there was something in the budget for his county, in Bakodu County. I think several thousands of dollars. They only got, I think there is some more $1,000. The rest of the money, they didn't get it. So it's commendable for all of them to say, oh, we made so much out of this ministry, or we raised so much fund. But where does it go? Where does it go? The ministry, the hospitals are all, dilapidated. Our students are struggling to go to school. Kids are sitting out on the floor. So apparently, I think the money is used to get Walker and his people on the private jet to go wherever they have to go, because the Liberian people are not feeling the impact of all of these excesses they are having. And as much as we want to commend them, if our people are not, having part to play, or to, sit at the table and eat some of theirs, then it's just useless. It's all for them.
Honorable George, if the total budget of Liberia is about $800 million, this guy alone has raised 1/8 of that amount. I mean, we're talking about $800 million. He alone has raised $180 million of the $800 million. That's a significant money raised.
Yeah, I mean, I heard nothing but good about this guy performance. So what Peabody said too, I agree. That I heard Women Pay is, even I was talking to Costa the other day, and you're telling me, he said the process there to United sector is very smooth. They go very smoothly. Everything's done. I mean, you get your license, everything, you go to the right channel, and he's doing a good job. I heard. I don't know whether he made a president list when
No.
the president gave his grading system 2 weeks ago. But the interesting thing is that the guy who made the list, I'm hearing now that this guy about to be either fired or suspended. I request your boss. So we'll hear what happened maybe next week. But also too, the guy who were praising too say what the MD of the year, Mo Ali. Now he didn't even make a list. But Women Pay is doing a good job, I believe, and even the LRA, right? With Jallah. with Double Jallah, right? I realized that Double Jallah too, he exceeded they said they exceeded their projection of revenue, but then so when somebody exceeds the projection, that means you have enough money, right?
That's right.
But then again, recently again, they said LRA dropped again because of a lot of issues that was happening. But I think the government is up to date with their salaries. I don't think they owe the people. I think from what I learned, nobody's owed salary. They're all up to date. But I think, last time I asked the deputy minister of finance, he said they're up to date.
Oh, that's the person you're going to ask?
So, but if there is enough money, let Peabody say, yeah, we need to prioritize its health sector. JFK. But my friend, Councilor Bruce, he told a surgeon JFK a few days. He put it on his page. I saw the room there. I was shocked. I mean, I think there was some job we done at JFK. I mean, maybe he was on a private ward. I don't know, but I saw the rooms there. He was showing on his page. It was good. But all in all, the government is raising a lot of money. I think you got to cater to the needs of the people. All the little stuff that's happening, should take care of it, and people should not like. They who saw that video, the children sitting down on mud, sitting on the rocks to go to school, and these are areas we need to feature. You know, hopefully after the president's visit, when our guys get back, we'll send them to this area to bring us some of these videos, things that we're not seeing happening. You know, that's not happening in the country that we're not seeing. So whether the government prioritize the areas, put money there. Because our entire budget is recurring expenses, all about payment of salaries and benefits. I'm surprised that Pewee then was in government and they never flagged the issues. And I'm surprised that New Progressive leader he didn't flag the issue. I was surprised at that.
Which are the issue?
But taking the budget and making all the money and then prioritizing the area, they just spend it on salaries, all the thing. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, but Honorable George, King George, if you actually want to know whether government is paying on time, the worst place to go is to the minister. You need to go to the regular people and say, have you received your pay? Your friends say you that beautiful private ward in JFK. Maybe you need to take a walk into the parking lot, go into the emergency room and see what a regular person goes through. That's how we do it.
But we're not hearing anybody complaining about salary.
But you don't know that when people complain, that's not they get fired.
Over Drew? I don't know.
People get fired for complaining. So you gotta sort out the better pills.
Wow.
The king from Norway. Talk to me. Do you know anybody? Or are all your contact pay? Are they being paid on time? People calling you less now because they're getting their pay?
Well, to be frank, I know very few people in this government. I left Liberia 25 years ago, so all my group of people were in the Taylor government, and few of them transitioned to the Ellen government, and most of them out now. So but if I know anybody in this government, it was the guy that was suspended yesterday after massacre, who in fact blocked me because I was arguing with him about the UP or JMD, and he blocked me. So but I don't know. And,
why was he suspended?
Let me be fair on this one. I haven't heard people complaining too much about not getting paid like we used to hear in the past government, where ministers were demonstrating. But like Sarah is saying, if there is a threat against people that if you demonstrate or if you voice out that you are not being paid, you'll be dismissed. Well, that could be the deterrent factor, but I'm not too sure. But let me comment a little bit about the performance of the mining sector. I think in the tune of 6 million or 6.
No.
What was it?
Yeah, a surplus of 6.2 million. Or they say surplus or 2.6
okay,
million.
A surplus of 6.2 million. But again, let me throw a quick question to the panelists here. The money that all the mining companies like ArcelorMittal and all the gold mining companies can pay to the government, does it come under the Ministry of lands and mass, or does it go into different account? Because the reason I'm asking the question, if the money that they pay to government comes under the Ministry of Lands and Mass, then that means we're talking about excess of 6 million it should be nothing. Because remember that we got several gold mines, we got diamond mines, then we got the big companies operating. So $6 million for me, I think it's small. But if the money that they raised, that they are boasting of, if it was raised from other sources or from other revenues that does not include the money that the mining companies are supposed to pay to the Liberian government, then I think they did well.
Mr. Pewee, you were in government recently. When it comes to revenue coming into the government coffers, how does it come? Are the mining company paying through lands and mines, or is contractual where they pay directly into the general account? You are muted.
So ever since the PFM law came into force and when it was legislated in 2009, there have been some change in the system, of serious change when they brought the IFMID system, the Integrated Financial Management process also in the country. All those monies that will come will have to go through the government consolidated account. Government do have a central account called the government consolidated account. No money goes personally to the Ministry of Lands, Mass and Energy. No money goes personally to the Ministry of Transport. No. So yes, the money we have, you have to get a flat receipt, the Liberia National flat receipt, that will be, you go and deposit whatever amount that should be. So those money, those taxes that should be paid, will have to be paid through the national consolidated account. That's what the PFM law is clear. And that system was meant, it was written, Madam Sali, was meant to mitigate this issue about widespread corruption in the country. Unlike before in the 80s and other things, people used to collect those money, and those controller of individual ministries now will go and report. No, they needed to stop that. That was enhancing. It was recipe for more corruption. So to crush out corruptibility and the rest of that, the PFM, the public financial law brought into play is kind of an efficient and more corrupt-free process to put the money into the consolidated. So to answer your question, those money will have to go to the government consolidated. Now, something I want to do. Okay, ArcelorMittal and all the other thing, though, as he said, also as the people are trying to say, yeah, those money are money going directly to so that a way these are big company. But there are other folks that, the Ministry of Lands, Mass and Energy, other people are involved in other class 1 money, artisanal money, and those that are involved into artisanal money, there are folks that don't have hard skills kind of a money into the country. Let's say Liberians that are hustling. You have your Gold Creek in this village in Indiana, for instance. You involved into those things. So that there's a way, and those people are collecting. When you collect, then you pay your token to the government. So the Ministry of Lands Mines got a very huge scope, if you will. The one thing we have to do in the country is to ensure that all of those illicit mining sites, we bring it into life, and there be a controlled mechanism that can help us, because there's a potential of making millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars from the mining sector. That amount that was even collected, it's good. It's good because you have a very effective and efficient Minister of Mines currently. Now, let me be very frank, and he's one person that got some serious integrity, right? And the reason why he didn't take on a job, he had a big job under Madame, because he was pushing at the time to even be Commerce Minister, because he thought he would bring a lot of changes. He got some serious integrity. He's one person that can get the job done. You see, he look very unassuming. He's very smart also. So I would hope, and I wouldn't be surprised here to increase that amount by the year or two moving on. But I agree with the rest of the panelists that it should not be growth without development, right? And we are always expecting here. It should not be growth without development. If there's an improvement in the revenue generation and intake of our country, that should reflect on the destitute of Liberian citizens and our inadequate infrastructure services we have. How can we pump money into building some infrastructure and march it up to ensure that our people will have the requisite benefit that will march on the kind of revenue intake and all those things. So that just they're taking it, but the money they're not going directly into mine's budget or account. Yeah, what I would say. Too many were asking, well, who are in government? Why would they didn't call? Listen, I serve as a agent of the government. And when you're in public bureaucracy, you do have limitation to do certain things. I cannot be an assistant minister in the government and be the one bashing at the government. But here's what I will always say. Whenever we had opportunity to speak on public platform, we admitted that there's a need to enhance and improve the livelihood of the people. And that's what we did. So there's time that you want to see these things unfolded as to how they unfolded. But yes, there's an increasing need. And I will say on this platform today, I will say it tomorrow. You wake me up tomorrow and 10 years from now, by the grace of God, I will tell you that there's a need to enhance and improve the life of the people. And do we have the capacity to do that as a country if we manage our resources? Yes, we can. And how do we engage in all some of those things and all of that? So a lot of things are going to be unfolding in the country. I would hope that if the Mars Ministry would do this, the Transport Ministry can do that also. We have a lot of revenue generating entities in the country. And that's why when the budget hearing, during the budget performance report, we have to call those institutions and hear from them. How did you perform? You projected $10 million. How much did you raise? You projected this. How much did you raise? If we perform in there, all the ministry you put them together, they can raise a lot of money. So even the internal revenue generation scheme of the government is deep. The foreign ministry do raise money. The commerce ministry do. The transport do. A lot of spending entity. Generating entity. Then we have few spending entities alone. And how can we change the scope into those things and change the spending entity from those all of the line? But again,
please let me post on it. I mean, digress a little, right?
Sure.
These are discussions have been going on in some chat rooms, but let me just bring it to the party. Okay. First of all, the people are saying that President Boyka's intention for this whole Dole burial was for political reason. And I don't know whether it's true, but maybe everybody got their own opinion. I also learned that even the 13 former officials of government that were executed, he wanted them to go, I think, to join him on some stage somewhere. I think either at the signing of the book of condolence or somewhere. I think they refused, and so forth. But then again, you heard Prince Johnson in his testimony at the TRC saying that they exhumed the late president's body. And when that was done, he led commanding general for him. General Vani said, look, you shouldn't bury the man. You gotta cremate him. And then which they did, they cremated him and threw his ashes in the ocean. So the government saying that they say that they had casket, but I thought they would have come on and say that, people feel that they should have come up publicly to say that now is really the remains of the late president in the casket, but there was just maybe something from where they buried him Garguah at the time, they put in the casket. But do you believe that it was for political point? President Boyka wanted to score political point, that they think that Taylor didn't do it, Seti didn't do it, Weah didn't do it. He was the one who came and reburied President Dole, and is about to rebury the 13 officials. It is for politics of a reconciliation and peace. What do you guys think?
Well, let me come to Joseph Boyka's defense here. All of these people they are all politicians. They didn't do it. Okay? Joseph Boyka is doing it. It is a good thing. Whether somebody's in that casket or not, it is symbolic. We have had the tomb of the unknown soldiers. Nobody goes there and go dig up bones and say, who are these people? President Joseph Boyka have decided to reconcile the country. And I think if the 13 officials of the government, if they refuse to go, and they have been talking about reconciliation, then they are fake. I think if you don't want to listen to anybody today, you should listen to General Budnick or Joshua Blahyi, what he said. He said in our culture, especially in the Southeast, and I think this goes all over the country, whenever there are two occasions where we put everything aside, our differences aside, when our daughters get married, we celebrate everything that we had in being, adversaries. We put it aside and we celebrate. And the second time is when we are in mourning. When someone died, we buried our hatchet. We use the occasion.
Especially my uncle and the pastor people.
That's correct. We bring people together and say, you know what? Let bygone be bygone. You bring the elders. They bring the town crier. Those of you who were not born in the interior, those of us who were, but we know.
So let me interrupt you. So you believe that a Boga secret election, you think the Grand General will win the Grand General 90%?
No, but he would do better than he did though last year. I have to give, even if I didn't vote for him, I have to give him credit for what he's done. You have to give Joseph Boakai his due, man. This is something that nobody has done. It's like a hot rod nobody wants to touch. He came and he's done it. So if the prophet himself was right, this is one occasion where we need to put everything aside and lay these people to rest once and for all. He did it. You got to give him credit. Whether it's, listen, if you are a doctor and you perform a surgery, they don't say, man, why the doctor doing doctor work? The man's a politician, he's doing a political work, and he say, yo, it's all about politics. It doesn't make sense. Give Joseph Boakai his due. This is something that is overdue. We need to do it. We need to reconcile our country, and we need to move on. Joseph Boakai get an A+ on this one. Everybody else who knocking, they are envious, they are jealous because they didn't do it. They don't want anybody to do it. Joseph Boakai got an A+ on this one, and I salute him. Back to you, Chief.
But let me come in. It's nothing wrong with him trying to have a befitting burial for guys like President Talbot, Joe, and all of that. But the very Prince Johnson that you had this wasted taxpayer money on, what having funeral for, you had indicted him to face the War and Economic Crime Court. He indicted Prince Johnson. Prince Johnson was gruesomely killing Doe on the national TV, cutting the private part and drinking beer. What honor are you giving him? What honor are you giving a guy like Prince Johnson? Well, he literally sat on national TV and castrated former President Doe for the entire world. In fact, you go on the YouTube, you see that video and all of that. Beat Walter Addison to death, and you having a state funeral and using taxpayer money for a very poor country like that. I really don't think you should have wasted the resources for that. I really don't. I think the Talbot family have gotten over it. You know how President Talbot was killed and all of that. I don't think they really see anything. There's nothing in it. Most of the people that the generation we have now did not even live to, was not even born during that time and things like that. Yeah, they are former president. But I think you're struggling. The country don't even have money, and you're wasting all that money carrying entourage to Grand G there. Nancy Doe was right there and going through all the hardship. You didn't even show any empathy to help her and thing. Then you die. She did die. And you're spending millions of dollars. I think it was a waste of taxpayer money. Something extra have been done because some of the people you having this state funeral for, they were gruesome killers and they didn't deserve it.
Mr. Pewee?
Yeah. I think let me jump in here quick. I don't know if the moderator will allow me, but
Go ahead.
I think this was politically motivated, and President Boakai lives to the tune of the Liberian people. The Liberian people, during the election, we heard this thing over and over. Oh, we do know certain Kennedy. We do know You're just coming. So we know the papi who have been there for 45 years. And guess what? The same way you know this papi for 45 years, the papi also knows you for 45 years. So he's dancing to the tune of the Liberian people, right? So he's seizing those perfect opportunities to plug in what he has to do in preparation for 2029. And it may seem like people not paying attention or people may be overlooking it, but all these things that he's doing, they got impact in the long run. And Dr. Peabody just struck a very good point. Those widow, the late Nasido, she was in Monrovia there, struggling. She was all the time crying about her benefits. And this government was in power for 1.5 years before Nasido passed, sadly. What did this government do? What did this president do? Did this president have audience with this lady one day? The only president I remember having audience with this lady was because I used to work with Taylor as a journalist. So I was at the executive mansion. And that was one of the tense days we had when we heard that Taylor had invited Nasido and she agreed to come. All the journalists were going there for one reason, to go hear the only chapping. Because, so, I mean, that was our discussion. But that woman impressed me that day. She spoke well. And one thing she said that I still remember, somebody asked her, why didn't you impress on your husband to leave the country that he had to die? He said, I talked to Sammy. Sammy told me, Nancy, take the children and go. I'm a soldier. I promised the Liberian people to defend them. I'll be the last man. She said it. So we asked her whether she regret. She said, well, I regret that he died, but I don't regret that he defended the country as he promised. So this woman was struggling in Monrovia. The president did not call her or do anything, but they are dead. They're going to bury them. That's when he take the whole government to go along with him. So it's all about, winning the souls of the grandchildren. Oh yeah, this is the only man who decided to bury our son and blah, blah, blah. And I want to believe that coffin was also empty because I was among 7 journalists from Greater Liberia in 1992 that 2 journalists who were working with Prince Johnson had arranged, because most of the generals, the Fani, and all the people had crossed over to MPFL and they wanted to establish some relationship. So those 2 journalists, one TV cameraman and one reporter, he's dead now, but the TV cameraman stay alive. They came and they set the stage for us to go. It was 7 journalists. Of the 7, 2 are dead. 5 stay alive. We went to Prince Johnson base. It was the first time I lay out on this Prince Johnson. Two Saturdays back to back. This Prince Johnson, when we got to the base, he brought food, we ate everything. The kitchen rang our president, we ate, he brought liquor, we drank, and he said, I'm going to get dressed for the program, right? Or for the interview. So we're sitting and waiting. Prince Johnson came outside and said, but before we do the interview, let's go so I can show you your president. So I was a little bit confused. Which president? I thought he said how to do it live or something like that. The glass, something that you can put drinking glasses, glasses, one glass of wine, or that glass showcase, Prince Johnson had fingerprints, 5-5, with a score with the mirror cap on it. And he said, this is dope. So I was surprised when they seen Prince Johnson was telling the Liberian people that he buried dope. And they seen Prince Johnson would say he yielded to pressure from some group, international group that were pressurizing him, and they went and assumed dope, and then they show him to the people, and after that they cremated him and scattered the ashes in the water. That's what he told the people. Then it's the same dope that people are going to bury today. That's a different story. So, and this is one reason why I never trusted Prince Johnson. Okay, because I'm not saying to say, I'm telling that I saw what he showed us, except you are lying. But fast forward, I think I want to differ with Mr. Gamer a little bit that President Baka is actually doing this thing because he wants to do it. No, but there is a political honor too. Trust me. Okay, our people, how many grandchildren will feel today that this is the only president who care for us, who brought our son to rest in his own place. It's not wrong that he did it, but political side of it, we all are supporting 100% that Doe could be buried honorably. Okay, and even they are thinking about burying Towa and the rest of the 13 people. I support that, but nobody can wipe out or sweep out the political undertone. Trust me, it's going to work.
Pewee.
Yeah. So two things. He said you just said that the casket is empty. Don't say I think that casket will be empty. It's empty. Nothing is in there. But the daughter of the late president and first lady said it recently that the only person and some of us, I was young enough to understand things very well at the time when she came to the country the way, and she said it on tape when Clarence Johnson interviewed her some time ago on OKFM that President Taylor treated her like no one. I mean, she even had President Taylor treatment compared to the way her husband. She said the President Taylor really treated her well, very well, very well. They gave her a brand new vehicle, give her some money, give her everything that's required of her. They even encourage her to come back home and the rest of that. No precedent did that. No precedent. And so that one of the major things I want for that. But looking back at he himself stated, Frank Johnson stated the whole standard of thing. He buried. As a matter of fact, he asked one of the doctor to inject dough, and they in terms of to store his. He said the diet injection that was given to the late president would have kept his body in good condition for almost 25 years. And more or less, but beyond that, when they exhumed the body to prove that he didn't article what the English word I want to use was not coming back to him, but they didn't eat him, was to instruct his men to exhume the body. When they exhumed, they first bust the grave, but the poor still showed the grave. The poor are not concerned, and they exhumed the body. After they exhumed the body, they show up dough, and then he had redirected that they should rebury the body. It was a time that he told the late Konavani that no, we cannot do this now. I mean, no, sorry. Vani told him, no, chief, we can bury one person 2 times. One person can have 2 graves. And then he instructed now that they should cremate the body, right? And then he himself said when they cremated the body, and then after the ashes of the body was then sprinkled in the St. Paul River. Now, but the issue here is the symbolic aspect of what is unfolding today, or what unfolded in the country today, is to have the political will to do it. And that's why I agree with you. No Liberian president whatsoever. And let's say during the Taylor time was not because Taylor had similar plan also, but it was still added that we still have our conflict and other things. But after the crisis, I would say for a fact that the former president Ellen Johnson Sirleaf would have never thought of doing that. She would have never thought of doing that. Madame Sirleaf felt the Doe government treated her in the most disdained manner, right? In a disdain and new manner. So she would never have thought of doing no kind of a reconciliation with the Doe or the Doe family. That I know. Would it have been good for the Weir government to take opportunity to do what Bwaka is doing? I thought it would have been a very good opportunity for Weir to do, but they missed onto that. And Bwaka is still in the opportunity now. But we had to change the political issue next election 2029. I'm inclined to believe, he's going to get some support there. It's going to change the political landscape a little bit there, but I don't think it would change any major impact. But this is a political win for him to take the late former president and back home and to be buried in Granjida, and where he went in attendance and with all his government officials. The economy, I'm told the economy of Granjida County boomed this weekend. Right, the economy boom a lot. A lot of spending going on in Zreju. All the guest houses there that have been abandoned for months, years. I haven't seen customers and they started increasing their rate. So the Ghanaians celebrated this weekend, and they're going to continue up to Sunday. Most of the guests will be leaving back to base, but politically, is it a win for him? Yeah, it's a win for him politically. He mustered the courage to do what many Liberian leaders been planning to do, and they have never done it. It's going to be a political win for him. Where he extended to the 13 men, and also, and then how would that be received also? But it's the symbolic nature of it, that is important. And in politics also, these things are very vital that we do these things, because everything matters in politics. And more or less, you just instructing. You don't use your own money from your pocket. It's the state resources, right? So it's just something that they plan to do, and they executed that today.
Thank you, Mr. Nambe. Here I am talking about. We are talking about reconciliation, right? We all lost relatives and loved ones, and we are saying let's put our country first. President Waika have decided we're gonna rebury the 13 men that were executed. We want to bury the president and his wife, and at some point we want everybody to come together for us to say it's over. Let us reconcile our country, because we all talk about reconciliation. Now they send an invitation to the 13 men family. I thought this would have been an opportune time for them to show that they have passed that stage. Is now about nation building. But to already deny and say we cannot even go sign a book of condolences for these people because we're still holding grudge against them, I think it's a failure on their part.
Yeah. Look, I think peace building is very difficult. It's easier to breach the peace, but peace building is very difficult. I agree with you, Jerome. I think President Boakai, I think the move to rebury the former president and also bury the former first lady, I think is good. I was not a fan of Samuel Doe. He terrorized the progressive community, even the William Tarbell. But I think Tarbell was even kinder to the progressive community than Samuel Doe was. But look, he served the country as president. I think Samuel Doe served for almost 10 years. And I think him being buried in a mass grave, and then, the coup, the Civil War, I think all of those put the country in the bad light internationally. So I think this is a good attempt to try to redeem the image of the country. I think the president is also, I think he's slowly coming around. I think he recently appointed the late Prince Johnson's wife on the board of, I think, NPA or so. So I agree with I think Langford here. I wish he had gotten to Mrs. Doe earlier and help out, giving us some assistance before her passing. But I think he's coming around to it. So yeah, I commend him for that. I've heard the argument that Senior Doe, he didn't deserve, to be recognized. Even William Tarbell. But look, these people served the country. They did some good. They did a lot of bad. Samuel Doe, for example, he did a lot. But look, he did a lot of good. I mean, he expanded the university. I think it's during the time that the federal capital was introduced at the university. He had plans to pave the road from Ganda all the way to Harper. That's my part of the country. So he did a lot of stuff. But, of course, when the corruption was becoming too much in the government, he started to feel kind of insecure, and he tribalized the government. You had to be of the Kran tribe or from Grenjida by the late 80s, before you could become anybody in the government. And we thought that was wrong, because the government belonged to all of us Liberians. So yeah, but reburying him and at least bringing closure to the family, reburying William Tarbell. I think there was a attempt made to do that, and even reached out to 13 people who were killed on I think April 22nd. And I hope you reached out to those of us who are also affected by some of those 13 people, because also they bastardized our dreams. Most of them, they denied us privileges. And so if he's going to recognize them, I hope he doesn't forget Gabi Tapia. He had to go during the Doe regime. There are a lot of young people who stood up against tyranny. and who lost their lives in the struggle. So if he's making amends, I think he should make. That's why I said peacemaking is difficult. I hope you will not forget to reach across the board and reconcile all of us. That's his job as president of the Republic of Liberia. He is the father of the nation, and I think he should reach out to all of us and make us feel at home in our own country. Before I pass it on, I was I didn't have a chance to talk about this overperformance. I talked briefly about women, but I remember I think last year the LRA overperformed, I think by over $10 million. And yeah, I think the government of Liberia experienced a budget shortfall over $35 million. So it is a paradox. So now Wema is telling us again he's brought in so much money, he brought in over $6 million than he was expected to bring in. And I think we're still in the third quarter of the year, if I'm not mistaken, if not even the second quarter. So apparently there is potential. Well, the fiscal year ends, I think, in June, right? Or July. So yes. I think the fiscal year is closing, but kudos to him. But they have to tell us, what they're doing with the money. And they continue to tell us they're bringing in more than anticipated. And yet, look, before I pass it on, also, because of the way our resources are being expended, right? They're being put to the wrong use. A friend of mine just passed away yesterday because of the poor health delivery system in our country. Everybody leaves the country to go somewhere. I told you guys before, I'm a prostate cancer survivor. I did my surgery 2 years ago, and I went home the very day. I came from, Jefferson, Pennsylvania. And I was in recovery within 7 days. I was, up and about. My friend, we went all the way from Boston Junior High School. That's our way back. We were Smith D. Kume. We went to Boston, Tubman High School together. He worked for the GSA. And he and I would just communicate on Tuesday. He was telling me he's in Ghana, he was undergoing, this procedure. He was pretty terrified. And I was just trying to console him and tell him, look, I've been there, I think you'll be okay. And I was here last night. My friend finally sent me a text. He didn't make it. Now, besides the bill that he had incurred in Ghana just to transport the body to Liberia alone is going to cost almost $3,500 just to take him back home. And these are some of the things we're talking about. He could have stayed home if the health delivery system is not filling our people. We should be able to stay at home and get the help that we need. And so if these over performances are being declared, we're just hoping that the resources will be applied judiciously so that the majority of people will benefit. But I'll pass it back to you guys.
Good. Sarah, touch on that real quick and then go on to former President Weah's wife, Clyde Weah. Today was their first graduation, and they got a great gift from the CMC political leader, Musa Hassan Bility, a brand new pickup truck for the school. Beautiful graduation of young kids. We are hearing that Joseph Boakai is threatening to go after her, saying that she has to justify where she got money from to build that place. Your take?
Well, when it comes to the unity that you guys talk about, that Boakai, the rebearing of the former president and also the first lady, I think if somebody else, if Weah was president today, he would have done it. He would have given her a befitting funeral. Whoever the president was, is in this day and age, would have done the same thing. But I think everything he's doing right now is all about politics. It's purely political. It's purely political. Nobody should sit here and fool anybody here. It's all about politics. And because they know very well that the Southeast, especially from the Grand Jida era, they didn't get a significant amount of votes from there. So all of these things are geared towards that. If President Boakai wants to unite the country, there's a lot of ways he can do it. We are all victims of the war. All of us here are victims of the war. A lot of people died. We still grieving that. And he has butt naked on his team parading the place and saying all kinds of things. Butt naked, whenever people see him, it traumatized a lot of people because people were directly affected by butt naked. But this is a man who is in Boakai government, and he still today he threatened Kehleboe. Yeke Kolba moving around peacefully with his mate, and then he's saying all kinds of things about Yeke Kolba. This man should not be parading around here. He should not even be around. He should be in jail. He should be behind bars. He victimized people. He killed people. So if President Bwaka wants to unite the country,
excuse me, who are you talking about? I'm parading that should be in jail for killing. You mean Yeke Kolba?
Butt naked.
Oh?
You didn't see a butt naked video today?
No, but what I'm saying, both of them, Yeke Kolba himself was a killer. He said it. So why you want to pick on just butt naked?
Well, yeah, butt naked.
Yeah, but Yeke Kolba is not known. Butt naked is popularly known for burning people.
He said it himself.
Kema, you are in the States. How will you know that? I mean, he was burning people. Butt naked was burning people live.
Pregnant women. He confessed to that. He had his own video. He's on video for confessing to the things that he did to people. And even there's a video I watched, or later saw him in Ghana and accused him that what he did to her family, and he apologized to the woman. Okay, so if President Bwaka is serious about reconciliation, there's a better way to do it. Everything else he's doing there in Grand Juliet is purely politics.
Why not have a national funeral for
Thank
those
you.
But not
politics is doing over there. That's not reconciliation.
Have a national funeral that all those that were innocently brutal murder. I mean, by these leaders, let everybody celebrate for the whole country.
And to finish my point, to add insult to injury, he actually created a division because Zoe Penny has his group who was directing the body to go to Tucson, whereas the children wanted the body to go somewhere else. So at the end of the day, I don't know how many votes he's going to get from there because there was a division in that, and so the family is mad. The daughters are mad. The children are mad. So I don't know, So like I said, everything else he's doing over there is all purely politics. I don't see any form of unity. No, I don't see it.
Sarah, is Joseph Waka a politician?
But what do you think he is?
Okay, so why would you say a politician playing politics? That's
yeah, but you're trying to make us to understand that he's trying to unite the country. In my opinion, that's not unity. He's trying to gain votes. He's trying to gain votes. That's why he's doing what he's doing. It's not about uniting the country. That's not how I see it.
Give credit where credit is due. The man has buried the president and his wife, and that's something credible. That's something we need to praise him for.
I agree. I agree. But at the same time, it was done for a reason. We should not negate the fact that it was done for a reason. He did it. He's the president. It is expected that he would do it.
But Sarah, let me ask you this. Right? What about President Weah, who the lady actually publicly accused of neglecting her while she was alive? Right? You heard the story she told. She went to see him. She sat down for over 8 hours and never saw him. Right? And she passes away. And what does he do? He goes to carry all these gifts. And the family was, of course, yeah, exactly. So at least
what president? The incident that happened between the lady and President Weah for the length of time she's still waiting for him. That was not right either. That was not right. And I said it. I said, I mean, he could have done it differently. But at the same time too, you never know what the stereo. That's why President Weah, I was not satisfied. When he went to the family to sympathize with the family. If I were here, I would just sympathize and just remain silent. He have to go through all that explanation because when somebody is explaining something about their parent and they're hurt about it, for me, I think the best way to do is to remain silent. You don't want to exacerbate the situation. So I think that's what happened, and that wasn't right. But I'm speaking to the fact that today, what President Bwaka went to do over there is just a symbol. I mean, it's political. You can say whatever you want to say, but it's all political, in my opinion. And onward to the club married we are kids. I don't know what it was. I mean, the lady is the first lady. She undertook a project to which is good for our little kids, especially orphans. whatever reason they have, they want to go after her. We want to see that. I personally want to see that because I think she's been doing a great job. I want to see why they want to go after her. I don't know the reason why, but I want to see that before I can make a comment on that.
Great. Kehleboe, the president has done to me honor any president. Wherever happy, the president takes credit. If it goes wrong, the president takes the blame. The president has married the former president and his wife, and he gave them full honor. That is full credit to Joseph Yuma Boakai. Whether you like it or not, Sarah and the likes of Sarah, they're trying to divine thought. In social science, we call it divine thought. You're trying to say something that he's doing it for politics. You don't know. You are trying to
But
divine.
Mr. Gamer, why were you say I'm trying to divide you?
No, divine. No. You are trying to divine thought. You're trying to make it. You're trying to do something that is not there.
But that's my opinion. That's my opinion. You can't judge. You can't judge that. No, that is my opinion. That's how I feel it is.
Okay, great, Mr. Gongloe.
You are
Physically, what
entitled
I
to
can.
your opinion. I'm entitled to mine.
That's correct. What I can see physically is the president burying the former president's wife. It is factual. It is something we can see. We can touch.
There's a lot of feedback coming from.
Yeah, I think somebody got to be maybe Mr. Pewee. God, let's mute while Mr. Gongloe is talking. Gongloe, go ahead.
Yes, but the question, you didn't end your question.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I'm saying the president has done a marvelous job on this particular topic, and I think he deserves credit.
No, yes, I do agree with you. Just like when President Weah built a peace park, is that Unity Park or Peace Park?
Yes, Unification Park.
Okay, Unification Park. Even when he built an Invincible Park, I went to Monrovia and I saw that from the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning to 6 o'clock in the evening, Invincible Park was always crowded with young people. Saturday in the morning, they playing soccer, they playing basketball. I mean, it was crowded through. I said, wow, the young people have been yearning for such opportunity. So, but before then, I was part of the group that was criticizing that until I went to Monrovia and I saw the Invincible Park, how it was so useful to young people. I said, I think I was wrong then. I was sitting way in the United States, I was criticizing that. Now, so I haven't seen the Unification Park, but I've seen the video, I've seen the lightning. It's a good thing. So what President Boakai did is a good thing. I think in a way, in a measured way, it enhances the peace process. I mean, like Mr. Nyenwolo said, and others also complained, there could have been a different approach to it. But this is what he saw fit to do. So I gave him that credit, okay? Maybe another president will come and say, you know what, there was a missing link to this. So I think we should add this one to it. Maybe there should be a monument to even honor the Ghanaian men and women who were protecting the state under him until his death. You know, I mean, to recognize so that their family too can know that, hey, our children, our father died in protection of the state. You know, I will add a piece to it too, okay? But I just want to also close. When I listened to Mr. Nyenwolo, he was talking about the struggle against the Doe regime. And he was talking about also some of the good things Doe did. You know, in hindsight, when you look at what is happening today in post-Doe era, Doe is an angel. Doe is an angel. Because we talk about corruption today, Doe is an angel. In post-Doe Liberia, Doe is an angel. You know, I mean, in 1983, Doe gave a speech right after Nima Ray. I was in 9th grade in Bassatinage in Monrovia, and I listened to that speech. I was not just a 9th grader, I was very active in student politics within NCSS school system. So I took interest in that. I still remember. In that speech, it was to address what has happened in Nima Ray, but then somewhere in the middle of the speech, he listed about 47 senior government officials from Nimba that he has appointed, both in public corporations, in agencies and ministries of government. And in that speech, he said, even my cook is from Nimba. Even my personal doctor is from Nimba. My personal assistant is from Nimba. He listed this. I still remember that. He went and learned. Then, in conclusion, he said, what does Nimba want? They got everything in the government. The only thing they didn't have was the presidency and the vice presidency. So, I think from that speech, as usual, President got many years, people come and talk to you. I think there was then gradual attempt now the country started to veer towards anarchy slowly. Then November 12 came and all that, But in a way, I would say Doe was a good president. If you look in post Doe Liberia, Doe was a good president. I can say that now publicly. And I can argue my points with anyone who is ready to argue. I can say that.
Great. The Viking, your take.
Yeah,
What kind of Viking are you, mommy? Are you a Minnesota Viking?
No, he's an Afro Viking.
I'm the black Viking. I'm the black Viking in the West. In the West, they can get mad with me as it was. But I was talking about Doe and the burial, like I said earlier on, that was a good move. And President Bouaka knows the Liberian politics well. 45 years, man. I mean, some people here were not born at that time, or they were just born. 45 years, 47, that's a long time. So he knows the in and out. He knows exactly what the Liberian people need at a certain point. And like I said before, he will use that opportunity to get in there. And that's what politics is all about. Read the people's mind, maneuver it, and start it the way you want it to suit your case. The Jallah factor, yes, Joe is going. I mean, Bouaka is going to get significant support in Jallah because of the sentiments, and then the ambience, the mere fact that he was the one who undertook this project. Yeah, that's enough for the old people, the old papi. Then who I saw they were presenting, I think, white chicken or something to him. The old people right there, they're marching. Yeah, this man are a good man. No, listen, I work for Taylor as a journalist during the wartime, and one thing I noticed that everywhere that Taylor went, he sat down with the old people, and no pere papi there. They say, nalo kang when you go to the pastor, so we follow it, we saw it. People, the moment you identify with them, right there, you win there. You take the chiefs for the various towns and things. The moment you get good contact with them, you get them. So that's a very clever political move that President Bouaka made. But people, if Mr. Gamer, he's looking at it as a philanthropic event. No. The old man would not have had any interest in doing that if he didn't have political motives. And trust me, like I said before, he will yield the profits come 2029. My nephew just mentioned that Doe was a good man, yes, and he's right. If you compare Doe era to post-Doe era, nobody would have even thought that there would be anything called corruption, because the highest punishment that can be meted out to any human being was meted out to 13 people. Living people who were not sick, they didn't die in accident, you grab them, you put them broad day. I was playing football, I was small ball, living on the papa. We were playing football right behind the old police station there, and the Chamber of Commerce and the Information Ministry. When we saw the people who ran there, I was one person who went around in Sako 4 different times. I went 4 different times when they executed the people, leaving human being. So,
oh, somebody need to mute, man.
Pewee.
Yeah. So if 13 living human beings who are walking, did I say you kill them and everybody see, and right after that, even the federal government, somebody started being corrupt, down to today, I think, you know, it's just good that we can praise to. We can say, well, those time was good because people would have learned their lesson. Okay. And talking about reconciliation, President Bouaga wanted to reconcile. I read a long speech that he delivered from Spoon. I mean, or closing argument. You know, your reporter reported it. I saw it, and I was laughing. It was the old man actually mean seriousness when he talks about reconciliation. Okay, but again, we gave him the benefit of the doubt. He said got 4.5 or 3.5 more years to go. That's a long time. He can make a difference. And you know, he mentioned something about the war and economic crimes code. And we want to see that happen. Okay, so that would be, I think, some of the ingredients or the elements that will boost up the entire reconciliation. Because yes, due to inflicted wounds on some people, and then he sustained wound. Now we are honoring today, but what about our people too who died? Who's going to recognize, or who's going to come to our you know, sorrow? Who identify with us? So we want to see all of those. But I think it was a good move altogether. We cannot condemn that. That was a good move. And Bouaga is also let me add a part. Then I close. Bouaga is also preparing his own burial. Because people will say, oh, that is the who buried former president, so we got to give him a good burial too. So I think.
I disagree with that angle, man. No,
you know,
the man will be a former president. He will obviously have it. Not that he preparing.
No, you gotta agree with him.
I disagree.
I just said it.
No.
Pewee,
Yeah.
Why he's saying in the biblical context is when they say funeral are not for the dead. It's for the living, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So that's why. But King George, Claudia graduated today. The first group of young kids from her school.
Jerome, just a second before Tommy coming, while we're on that page, TV, just give me 5 seconds. You know, I don't know if the president, I think he has good advisors. They understand Liberian politics. Otherwise, they wouldn't have won. But I don't really see what dividend he really sees to derive out of this. Though was very divisive. He's not the kind of president who everybody is happy about the president. Though even in his own town, Tucson, he was a divisive leader. He doesn't appeal to the Southeasterners. I am from Barobo. He was from Grand Gita. I don't think the Barobo people would care much about those being reburied or not. So if the president thinks this is pandering to the people because he's going to rebury it, I don't know. If you look in the crowd today, I don't know how much representation you saw in the crowd today of Southeasterners. So I'm sure his people are advising him, they're telling him, you know, where to go. Obviously, Nimba is in play, and CMC is going to be there. We're going to play Nimba out. So yeah, he's going to look everywhere for the vote. I get it, but I don't really see any kind of major benefit. And Tomalin, you know, you're laughing because you know they know this thing. So, but he would probably speak on it. I don't see any kind of benefit the president think he may be deriving by what he's doing today in Grand Gita. I don't see it.
Listen,
But
Joseph Brecker had gone down in history as the president that reburied these people. If he doesn't get anything out of that, he has history for that. Go ahead, Mr.
I agree. History will remember him for that. But you know, today, Liberia is a funny country. At Prince Johnson's funeral, Thomas Jaya Nimland attacked Bouaga. Today he was praising Bouaga. He stood up and stand up for Bouaga and gave a standing ovation. And you know, when the Grand Jury were paying his tribute. But then again, there's a video. I think they left more problem than good, because today Zopena is not happy. I saw even that guy, the young kid who was saying Lord Samuel Do, he was into something now with Zopena expecting Baga never stopped there. They went on to go and to do the burial. And Zopena is not happy. I saw SKD Gion, he wrote up on his post, he attacked Zopena on his post. So I think the whole thing was more the left was more divided than uniting them together. The family is divided more and more, and because to see SKD Gion, he's someone who don't talk much, but he attacks Zopeno on a post, and then also Zopeno feed that Boyka never treated him well. But Boyka, they organized for Boyka, and Boyka won. But for me, I believe that when you talk about family, husband and wife, next the children. So at least Zopeno should have stepped back because then the children bury their parent, man. Don't. I mean, if you accusing you of all the other stuff, then step aside, let the children bury their parent. If you are going to do what being good, to at least go there and sit in the back. But to organize a program, you're supposed to carry the body to where you know it would have been wrong. But I mean,
look,
Tomalin said, during the early days of the PRC, there was a split. That
Tiens, caméra, tiens-les.
Look good there, right? So it's pretty much divided. I think the daughter who down the former father's daughter, I think she was with Zodan on her side, I think, and so forth. So the whole funeral they left.
But is that boy in the Afro Dosan?
Maybe
No,
it's a story, but see, he dressing like Samuel Doe, he acting like Doe.
The man dressing like Samuel Doe,
all the different watches and all the thing. But just quickly, right? When the coup took place, when they killed Weston, that was a split. Oh, the Weston, I think Weston was a Sapo guy, right?
Yeah,
that was a split in on the southeastern side. What was Nangu was saying, and so, but to see today when I saw Thomas J.R. Nimble a few months ago, he was attacking Boyka. He went after them. Today
Now was saying even Nicholas Podia.
Yeah,
for Podia too.
For Nicholas Podia. Nicholas Podia was alive when they announced his death. I don't know about when they announced Nicholas Podia's death, he was alive when they announced it. They announced that they had killed him already. So you're going to die eventually now. They had captured him, but they announced they say he got involved, exchange of fire with dissident forces, so he got killed. While he was still alive, they announced his death. So I think brought a lot of split between them. But Boyka gets the credit. History will say he buried the former president and so forth. But if he try to score political point today, we'll see what will happen in the coming years. We'll see it. But by the time we come to now, it will be forgotten. It will be forgotten, But I mean, President Doe got a burial, like Mr. Garguah said. There are others who should also be like the late Wo Tapia, Mamadou Lavla, all these great comrades that TK Wonselie, all the guys who went to the early graves, I think, who were killed. I think there's some two people will seek that to remember them. And in July is the burial of the 13 former officials and late President Toba. I think that the July program they'll be having to Boyka organized. So history will remember Boyka for all these things. So he buried late President Doe and Webb. He buried 13 former official of government, late President Toba. So But was it what
It's
his?
kind of ironic. It's kind of ironic that he couldn't even stand those people that he say he
I
had
know.
to agree with.
We'll see what happens. But
Yeah, but I think to add to what Tomlin is saying, let us not forget that Bwaka was a minister on the door. In fact, the problem that developed between Kekla, Poto, and Bwaka was on account that Bwaka was on his way to become Dole vice presidential candidate when Kekla Poto became chairman of the NDPR. Then he sent for Dr. Harry Monima from Poto St. Jane, who was a money man like him, and brought him to Liberia and said, "You will be Dole running mate." And that brought the problem between Bwaka and Kekla Poto, that it was Kekla Poto that undermined his ascendancy. I'm sure people can testify to that in the Lofa community. It brought a huge friction between Kekla Poto followers and Bwaka followers. But, I would and Bwaka also served in the Togo government also, okay? I mean, for the 2 years, did not start with Dole government. But I don't expect Bwaka to rebury progressive forces that give their life. When you die in a struggle for rights and rights, the expectation is not that you have some glamorous funeral and what have you. No, I'm not sure progressive forces will go dancing for that. No, because these guys die for a cause. Like Che Guevara and others, people don't probably know where they were buried. When you die in a struggle on the front, that's it. But the issue you fought for, you died for, those issues must remain on the footprint of history. So I knew Wagabi Tapia very well when I entered the university. He came and shook my hand and welcomed me. And many times we interacted. He was like a big brother, like a mentor to me. In freshman class, I saw my neon press release. I didn't even utter a press release, but the Super Bureau had written our name there because we were the young.
You were writing the react around time.
No, it was a part of indoctrination. We saw a neon release that we didn't write. The likes of Alison Bako, I said, wow. And then they came to us to explain that we were the people they were looking up to. So they putting our name in campus release for us to be recognized. So
thank you.
These are great guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have gone 12 minutes over our time, so we're going to call it for the day. Let's go around. Oh,
right. You didn't even ask me, but anyway, let's go ahead.
No, I'm coming. Susan, you want to do your closing? Welcome, Susan.
Susan, open there, close it.
Susan, go ahead. Go ahead. We're talking about the burial of the president and the first lady in Grand Jallah today, and the whole rigmarole with General Budnicki and Yeke Koluba and the whole rigmarole. Yeke.
Yeah, I'll be real fast. Bwaka is just looking for attention. Like I always say, this government, they have absolutely nothing to offer the Liberian people. And this man was a vice president, and though died long time ago. Why is it you didn't go out there to bury the late President Doe? So, like Tomalin just said, after this is just a campaign that they're running, early 2029 campaign, and it's not going to work with the Liberian people. They can do whatever they want to do in Grand Jallah. Grand Jallah, that base, it belongs to CDC. So at the end of the day, they're wasting their time. And I was quite disappointed to see Board Naked today making reckless statement to the representative Yeke Koluba. Our nation is just quite sad to see people aboard naked roaming around and making statements, Man, like Boy Naked, if he was in Nigeria or Ghana, he was never going to be alive. But sadly, when they go and kill our innocent children, they turn their face to God just to cover up. So, he went today, he said, oh, we're in Grand Jide to give Doe a fitting burial. All right, Boy Naked, what about the innocent soul that you killed? The innocent children that you took their hearts out, the innocent children that you drank their blood. What about their why is it you don't think they deserve any fitting burial? They do. Our nation is so sick, and today people are attacking that. Oh, Yeke is wrong for saying what he's saying to President Bwaka. What we're seeing today, that statement from Born Naked, it was something that it was coming, that it was cool, and the president, the both of them made Born Naked to get on that stage, and he was brave enough to make such a statement, and we should not even condone that. Shame on Born Naked. He needs to go find place and sit down. We don't need him in our Liberian politics. He said he's a pastor. He needs to stick to that place. I don't even know who calling him pastor said. But it's this government, they have nothing to offer. They're just causing problem all over the place. May the soul of the former president, Madame Doe, may her soul rest in peace. And for me, whatever they do, the base of Grand Jide belongs to CDC. Baka is just wasting his time. Thank you.
Pewee, the people decided today they will not be objective at all. They not plan their poll. Whether the record shows that Waka buried this man today, tomorrow they will say he ain't happy.
Oh,
You got your last word.
what was it, Mayor?
I mean, we're looking at something.
No one why you I mean we're having making plan and all that.
But this is empirical. The man doing something, they all say he didn't do it. He
But
shouldn't
that's
do
our opinion. What you gotta do with our opinion?
Pewee.
Exactly. I don't even want to go with that whole door barrier stuff because I don't want to say anything on it. I'm
That's
just gonna
our
leave it
opinion.
as it is. But they're
You wanna
wasting
be
their
a
time.
moderator, you gotta be a moderator.
I am moderating. I'm just telling you.
Don't
It
judge
is.
us.
I'm
Your
giving you.
opinion is your opinion.
I'm giving you an empirical fact today.
And so what?
Joseph Boyka buried. Today he buried the first lady and the former president. That's empirical fact. You can't deny that. Mr. Pewee.
Yes. Oh yes. So we time to time going to push. As a matter of fact, every political leader of our country, when they serve, every government officials that from the rank of being appointed from the assistant minister rank and in other capacity in those of the president appoint, elected officials are meant to be given befitting burial, and there should be an official Liberian government gazette issue when they pass. That is an issue, and that gazette will be issued through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs via instruction of the president. Every government officials.
That's why you disagree with me for.
Yes, from the ranking of an assistant minister and other major directors in other area of government as president appoint and elected officials. So even as per the record, government, whenever I'm going to my ancestor, the government of the Republic of Liberia should issue an official gazette in my honor. That is, and I'm going back to the bureaucracy and the protocol, right? Engage in these things. So number one, the president giving the former first lady, she's deserving, it's an entitlement, and the rest of that. But the former president that was killed in the way and manner that no human being could comprehend by another bloodsucker in 1990 of September. And there's some news that we got that he was even engaged in some level of different sort of things, and this president is coming to say he will give him a befitting burial. To be very honest, we ought to commend him for that. And I will be very frank, we ought to commend the current president for taking that initiative. It being the time we expected this to come. And part of the issue about getting a full closure in our civil crisis is, I agree that Samuel Doe himself was a very controversial and polarizing figure. More or less, he may have himself either planned or instructed the execution of other Liberian citizens. There's the other side of the debate, and that was how Prince Johnson came here on defend that his people were being slaughtered, and he had to come himself not only to slaughter other people but to also slaughter the former president. It doesn't make it better, but the argument of those that don't want to negate the reality that what he did is not something to commend him. And trust me, why we don't want to take most of our time, but we have to admit to the reality that it's important that he brings some closure to the Doe family. Now, the issue about how fragmented and the division that is currently permeating or within the Doe family, the late president's sister, son, is himself not happy with development. He's in one part of the place, and the kids are on the other side of it. But there's a story that we heard from the senior daughter of President Doe that that senator that is all alone today and trying to play a role, that senator tormented the Doe family. That senator and his mother ceased what basically the Doe family described to be theirs. They took it onto themselves. I'm not the one saying it. I heard that from the daughter of the late president. So with all these things that are unfolding in the country today, and you see, and it's part of the reason, it's just an unfortunate development. Now that we have a closure to this, now the rest will be settled. I don't know if they'll manage to settle it in the family way, but the reason why this is a major news element, and I'm speaking from a journalistic perspective now. I didn't practice, but I did. I was a student of the late Professor Haraji G.V. Krumah. Journalistically, it is important to normally balance. No, I'm not impersonating. Some of you did journalism, you practice journalism, but you didn't learn communication. No, I know. You didn't learn communication. But if I were to indulge into partisan journalism, I would be one of the best Liberian journalists. Because not only that I have the tune of it, I speak the language, but I will have the training, right? Because I got the training basically, and people like the late Joe Monoba taught me, Professor Haji Krumah taught me mass communication. These are people, trained Liberian journalists, trained Liberian communicator in mass communication that taught us. And the basic way what I was trying to help to is to always track the balance of the journalist. In journalism, you always have to hear from both sides, right? Without just coming to imagine or taking sides, and that's where the word we coined in Liberia called yellow journalism came from. Yellow journalism, the journalists that don't call both sides to have to hear from them. But what I will quickly learn on, my dear brother, is the country is now the moment we inaugurated Joseph Boakai. That very day, we started talking about 2029. And we're going 1 year, we're nearing year 2 already. I will say this to you. No matter what is going to unfold, the Liberian political process it's about tribalism, it's about regionalism, it's about also, it's not really play. You saw what happened recently. The entire Southeast voted Mr. Weah. The entire Southeast voted Mr. Weah overwhelmingly. Is that going to change significantly? It may change as per the result. If the result have to change as to who's coming and what's going to happen in the next 1-2 years, as to who the new institution. Now, the whole thing we talk about the CMC here, if CMC having to trigger a lot of changes in that part of the country, there may be some result that may just change. That's what I'm saying. Other than that, then I'll be waiting to see if that's going to change. Other than that, we're just going to be in the same cycle here. The North Lofa County will vote for the Nimba, and that's what the we've been saying. Nimba been always voting for Prince Johnson, and who Prince Johnson, even if Prince Johnson is not on the ballot, Prince Johnson said this person should be. The Nimba were inclined to do that, but I understood why the Nimba was doing those things because the Nimba believed at the time it was to reward war law because the war law protected them. But when the Nimba continue on that path, then we all will think differently about them. Now they continue on that kind of path, but we have to be realistic in just doing things.
Mr. Gilman, can I do my closing quick before I?
Yes, and while you're doing it, please touch on the cloud we are saying because it's
Oh yes. Okay. First of all,
I didn't touch on that.
let me say this right.
Yeah, we're coming back to you.
It's very commendable, you know, and I want to see somebody. Maybe somebody can challenge me. I know the Anthony Cheshire home was started by the late first lady of Liberia, Todman's wife, Antoinette Todman, but it was just for these people, the children who see in group homes there who are deformed, so handicapped kids. But it's first of his kind that first they have done this project, the Club Foundation. The project in question is that children who are abandoned, young girls, and the first graduation, and the graduation is free. The children attend that place free. And I visited that place before. It's a modern, nice place. And I'm hearing that the asset recovery people are trying to target this woman. And, you know, I think that right now, I think our friend Clan Martin is looking for justifications for the budget, for the pay they're getting. Because I think they are just fishing, and the fishing they are doing is just coming up. They put the hook in the water, now they coming on the hook. So they're looking for, look what they did yesterday. Like I said, if you throw the people rice, no problem. But I got documents today about that rice. That document that was distributed to the group of 72nd. People were all involved. They got the people that signed for the rights. They got the whole documents. It was documented. I put it in the chat room. People signed for it, and it was distributed fairly. But so all I think we're doing yesterday to show off that we're working. We not bring the people to justice.
Timothy, I'm not trying to interfere. You know that the Clamati man himself is accused of some corruption with the money that was given to him.
So I want to commend the first lady of Liberia, Madam Clyde Duncan Weah, for such a great program. The first graduate came out today. It was very colorful. I think Mr. Berete pledged. I think he done pledge a truck, a pickup truck. We pick up on Monday. That's good for that foundation. And to be frank with you,
CMC.
At least Madam Weah today, she can have a legacy. Will say, well, this institution was supported by her and built by her, and this is what she left behind. So if they are trying to target her because of that, then we have a lot of questions. So I want to commend her for that and congratulate the leadership for that school for the first graduate. Lastly, right? Look, I can tell you this, my people. There's a problem, right? There's a problem that coming up that I will be very mindful of, and it will come up. We're going to see it happen. Coming to the next 2 years, right? If you're a politician, anything you do right now, what are you doing good or you're doing bad right now? For the next 2 years, 26, 27, it's all just time to just play. But when it comes to 2027, ending going to 28, when the politics will start. So right now, all the parties are telling them, you build your base, you build your party, you get your base, your constituent, get them together. And last night, somebody said something about Thomas Falare to me. Look, Georgie, I would never do what my father doing. What father is doing, but father came under pressure. Father was told that if I'm gonna reading the riot act, if you don't come up with the press support to the president, we're coming for you. Come and put your audit report up. Coming for you. And as I foresee, this is why I foresee will happen in the next coming years or months. More people from the opposition will start joining the government. Because when they say, Tomalin, you see that?
That's a weak excuse.
I come in. Tomalin, you see what
wrong? Did they something wrong?
No, but what happened is that what's happening? They weaponizing the system against the opponents.
But if you didn't do anything wrong, be afraid. What you do?
I know.
But Pewee, if
Baga just give me an excuse. Baga is using this.
Baga is serious. That Baga audit. They audit the government of Ellen Johnson leave. They audit them too. They audit any government too. Where you're part of.
He will not do it. He will not do it.
They do it because guess what? If they audit the legislature now, most of the people that be on the ballot, they'll be caught in the red.
Including the vice
And that's it.
president. Including the vice
I agree
president.
with you now. But I don't think they're intimidating them. If they believe, okay, let's agree the government is coming
their
to that's
roles.
something on you.
You get bugger name, cause somebody here. We come in, use that liar. Bugger boy hero. That's a crazy one. You lie, you listen to all where you get your bugger name.
Don't pay attention to the
No,
comment.
I respond like
Don't pay attention to them.
Yeah, but no.
Honestly, right? It will be a problem. You will see the problem, Pewee. I heard yesterday too that by next week or 2 weeks from now, you're going to be more citizens from our citizen official. Being indicted again.
That's what I said the last time on the show.
Now, if you were doing it, say, but you know something, we're not to show that you're not targeting certain people, you're not cherry picking. It's okay. From any government too, why I serve as president. If he does that, people will hear him. So,
but that's why the Liberian people are not taking it serious.
There are other reports that your friend John Molu.
Even in the UP government,
other reports that are around, right?
Even in the UP government, Tomalin Judge.
Other reports for Molu. Go after Molu, other reports, bring it to book. Bring Molu, other reports, bring it to book.
Leave the Molu other report. The National Security Advisor is caught up the huge kind of the public web report.
Okay, but you think we're going to do it?
The current National Security Advisor.
That's the problem I got.
Yeah, the current National Security Advisor.
But this is the thing. The Liberian people are not taking it serious because they know they are way something. Yeah. It's not about them doing the right thing.
But where are certain law example for?
I agree with you.
Why are certain law example?
Listen.
Just yesterday, or 2 days ago, the mayor suspended the director of, I think, small businesses, something, Atom Massacre, all the people. Now, Mary Bro and other people.
Small businesses enterprise.
Yeah, they were accused. And police went for them, and carried them to court, and then they ended up in jail, and they had to free them again. So what about the people that you have suspended? Go to NAFA, go to the all the other places that you suspended people. The Fadiga and AB Kruma. Why?
Fadiga brother,
put in jail.
A phone call talking from there.
So you see, the thing is clear. The thing is glaring. Even though I'm going to time to close it, so let me just hold on.
No, you're closing now. Go ahead.
You're closing now.
You shouldn't have put your neck on the line, but go ahead.
I think it's 2 o'clock. It's 2 o'clock in Norway now.
It's very brief too.
Yeah, 2:32 actually.
Yeah, it's 2 o'clock.
Let me be sleeping behind a woman. What are you doing there?
In Norway, they don't break in Norway all the way down. Go ahead.
Yeah, make history one that count.
No. Now it's the opposite. In the summer,
in the summer,
it got dark around.
You can see all
the stuff around. Let me tell you. In the next 1 hour by 3 o'clock, it will be broad day.
It will be daylight.
You know, we got 1.5 hour darkness, and so we got to take black and stuff. But in the summer, it's the opposite. In the winter, it's the opposite. It gets dark by 2 o'clock until the next morning 9 o'clock.
Yeah, so In Oslo, it's not getting dark in Oslo from 2:25, 2:30.
Afro Viking, how
go ahead, Afro Viking, go ahead and close. You finish with your closing?
Let me re-emphasize again.
Let
me repeat myself again.
Number 3.
Let me emphasize again that the move by the president to go and bury Doe is a good move. And this president knows that he will capture people in that move. So it's a good attempt. It's a good intention. But there is a political undertone. So let me get me that is what I will have to say about that. He did not do it because he felt it's necessary, but he felt that there is a little profit there. No, one of my grand uncle used to say, he said, if you bend down, you either pick up something or you drop something. You can't bend down for nothing. That's why we bend down, they either picking up something or they drop something there. Okay, so that was why he did that. And then on the issue of the Garguah thing, I think it's a very good thing. And if this president would sit down under his watch and want to go for Garguah, I think it will be a wrong thing. This president was responsible for the group of 77 for complete 12 years because that's what the vice president is responsible for. And the group of 77, I got a course in there. In fact, he's in a leadership hierarchy. Okay, that place was leaking when he was reading, people would take zinc sheet and call themselves in the building. He didn't do anything. So if Garguah was first lady and she did something, I think that should be something that everybody should commend. The thing we were praising him today for Perry, former president, he should also praise Garguah for helping children. At least somebody learned something from there. And finally, let me close on this one. You guys were talking about schools yesterday. Is there any son or daughter of Thunder here?
Where? What?
From Haywood?
Oh, from Haywood.
The son of Thunder.
Okay, next week, take the picture of Haywood in school. Take the picture of the school
that was privileged.
Okay, take the picture of the
school.
Don't forget to go get a haircut.
What year was that?
What kind of haircut?
And your sleep.
I actually entered Haywood. I entered Haywood 1980, and I was a top teen time quizzer. I came from Basel Teenage.
You talking about 1980
we used to get when
some
we used to get
91, 92, 93, baby.
Oh, come on, 1990. That's why I heard Kehleboe talking about
for your youthful exuberance. We are not responsible for your youthfulness.
I will try to get a picture. I will try to get a picture of
come on next week and talk about Haywood. Come next week, talk about Haywood or even Basel Teenage. Let's go, Victor. You're closing.
Yeah, I'll do that. Thank you so much, and have a good night, guys.
Thank you very much.
Don't go him about no more.
Mr. Nami, are you attending the CFA program tomorrow?
The what program?
I can go sleep.
CFA program.
I had no plans. I heard about it. It's in Philly, right?
Yeah, King of Pressure. Yeah.
Okay. Are you going there?
Yes. I'll be attending.
All right. I'll let you know. I'll check with the wife. Maybe we'll go. But let me thank you guys for the opportunity. I want to encourage the network and the platform to join us. Let us add our voices to the call to audit this legislature. We made that our byline for the past several weeks now. We encourage you all to join us. I think this is not a CMC call. This is not a CDC call. I think this is a call for Liberia. Let's audit the legislature. Yesterday, also, Mr. Gaiman promised to help us get a copy of this bill, the port bill, the disintegration bill. Apparently, he forgot, but let us please lift this issue. I hope next week we'll have an opportunity. Anybody listening, if you have a copy of that bill, please inbox any of us so that we can pick it up. We think this bill, the way it's being rushed through, and given the circumstances surrounding it, the person who is allegedly behind it, I think it should give all of us concern, because all of us will pay the price of these people's this decision these people are making. Will actively pay the price tomorrow. So I want to thank you all for the opportunity. I will sign up. I usually wait until we all close, but I got to run. So I want to thank you guys very much. Hopefully we'll do it again. Are we coming on tomorrow? Tomorrow is Saturday, right?
Tomorrow Saturday. No.
I'll inbox you and tell you what will be coming over there.
Mr. Nangba, before you sign up, I want you to listen to that. Let me do my quick closing in just 1 minute.
All right, then you talk. Then tell me where you put the senator in the Days Inn hotel. Talk about that too.
Which senator?
Senator Boycha. We heard y'all didn't get a good reception, but go ahead.
Who said that?
Who's the point?
This is the point. Days Inn.
No, they say he was how do you call it?
Are you serious?
But it's all the time being right. Are you serious? People say Maro or
one of the that you are not about a hotel business.
Or one of the Hilton. He couldn't say one of the Maro Hilton.
All right, go ahead. Close, right?
What I wanted to say is great show.
Okay, so now Disney.
I want to thank my little sister Susan today. She was very fiery on her show. She went live and she said what she needed to say.
Bro, how come we don't get a notification? All right, I will follow you, Susan. I want to hear what you.
What you were saying? Should I attack you?
I know you're coming to CMT, so I want to start listening to what you got to say.
Once you're going live again, I will tag you.
What she said today?
Oh, I was saying that live.
Oh, God.
So she was very fiery. She was actually responding to Bob Naked with regards to the threat he made towards Kehleboe. He butt naked is a hypocrite. He was shaking Yaga Koluba's hand and hugging him 6 years ago when Yaga Koluba was insulting the former president and doing all the rebellious things against the former president. Today now he come open his chest talking about he gonna say Yaga Koluba can't come to Zwaju and attack his president. Now your president.
But you know what I mean? He was saying all the more you're making, you're there, you're getting important part, nothing. I don't people I mean get anything. I mean, listen,
So
I
want to commend Susie very well. And the reason why I want you to stay, Mr. Nangwa, is because the Liberia Association, we are having our July 26th program. It's coming up, and we want all of you guys that are in the tri-state area to attend our program. Our boy is going to be, I think, on that Friday of the week of the July 26th, on that Friday, the Liberia National Association, the Liberian Delaware Association will be having the ball, and then we're gonna have a Barrow and IE game on Saturday. We want all of you guys to come in support, because we actually want it to be a program that you will never forget. So we're planning on doing something really big. So
thank you for the invite. Thank you for the invite, sir.
And we're gonna be having a kickball game too. I'm gonna be the captain of the IE team. And the IE girls will be going against the Barrow girls.
You're finna losing.
Yeah, but you have to apologize for putting the senator.
I know, right? But thank you. But you know, and my wife is the vice president of Jallah. I think we have some kind of function somewhere to be, but I will check it out.
Sure, no problem. So that's why I just wanted you to get that information.
Yeah, and you the advisor on policy affairs, so you have to be.
You have to be there.
CMC gotta be represented. Y'all want collaboration.
You the senior advisor on policy affairs, so you got to be the direct on policy.
I can't tell you the number of times I've been fired, Sylvester, is that they fire me the money, then they rehire me.
If you really want real collaboration, you better be attending our programs.
But Sarah, you got to appoint out our senator for keeping in this thing.
No.
Pewee,
that was not Jesse. He was
what kind of senator investment thing you talking about, brother Pewee? I don't know.
I heard Motel 6.
Motel 7. That's 7.
I saw this. Where I information from? I don't know.
So
anyway,
listen.
It was a great show. I enjoyed it. Thanks to our followers.
Susan,
every day.
Yeah, the one they call this in or Hotel 7 or so. These are areas that maybe the traveler, the truck driver, the cheap motel. Everybody when you see Motel 7, this is a cheap area that affordable. That's why they pay $30, $40, $50.
I know, but I want to. I know the senator get. I
bet the host was senator.
The senator got too much money to be in that.
Yeah, why is senator go to Hilton or Maron or those big area that we have?
I don't want to believe that story, but I will check it out. I don't know nothing about his hotel.
Senator in Motel 6. Susan, do your closing. You know he got no girlfriend here because
look, I am exhausted. I don't have anything to say because I was on today. I didn't sleep well on my end here, but you guys have said it all, and we'll be back tomorrow. Maybe on Monday I will be back because I'm going out tonight. I have to chill. I have to
go out girl. Go
take the stress out. Yes, stress myself.
So Susan, what high school did you go to?
I went to school in Australia here. I grew up here.
Oh, you grew up in Australia?
Yes.
Oh, you're not a Liberian. Don't get out of our Liberian politics. You are Australian.
Give me yourself. You did everything here.
I didn't tell you I was born here.
I come here.
Okay, I went to Maribuka Senior High School here, and I graduated here, right in Australia here.
But Susan, wait. The man is saying that to you. He said grew up here in America.
You can tell from the man accent. I can speak my colloquial better more than he. Then he's talking about Liberian.
Yeah, the man actually grew up.
You're not Liberian. Pewee, close out, man. Take us out.
Yeah, but so by and large, on a serious note, I said this show tonight. I was enraged on the way I listened to the former on the warlord whatsoever, the way he sounded, still tried to bring himself, make himself look significant. That
I know.
threatening other people. He's nothing. And
Threatening
most
other
of the things
people.
I said past time, not now, we decided to hold the baby back home. Now, I hate people trying to project themselves who they are not, right? If you try to seek opportunity or to find favor from the current administration, say that. I
Exactly.
agree, all these things to show the thing he did today. Oh, he's going to do this, don't do that. They just want to show out. Stop it. You said some of those things and we came up, we will lash at you. People said this.
And you get a cover passing by his
The man he stole the show from him, then he won't count it. Unfortunately.
That
right?
was very funny.
I don't like to put more time to this thing.
Pewee, when you look at the man physically, the way he was standing, does that man look like someone who can even walk one mile?
No, he just come around and say things and people love them project themselves to be strong people and what they're not, and right. But again, in the political space, you have to have certain opportunity to just project yourself at a certain line. Where you're to come out and want to get certain opportunistic connections, keep to that. Don't come and want to bash at someone. I agree. I may disagree with your politics in a given period, but the way this guy did things today, try to steal the show in Grand that kind of try to get a lot of attention, and that's what the very young man was saying. But it's unfortunate, right? And the reason why he added that he had internet, but the way we started the show for him, now he didn't come on the show. He had very good internet. He had internet.
He was supposed to be here today?
Oh, yeah. He said he'll come on the show, but later on, he told too many, say, internet, now, when you go to Ganta,
I can't wait. I can't wait.
He had internet. He want to come on the show, right? Because those listen, Given what I would say, guys, on this show, for someone that will come out and open it, you never heard. And he didn't even say that he killed people in open combat, right? But he boasted to have killed and sucked the blood of innocent kids.
Yeah.
Did you see the video I posted?
No, I didn't see that, right? He boasted to have said that. And that's the one thing that for me, I don't like to see. I don't tell to see any people calling evangelist. Evangelist from where? Why you call such a man evangelist? For what reason?
But the man gave himself a title today. He said he's what did he say? He said something else. I don't think he's really going. And second thing I want to also say here again, he's actually working in the government according to sources.
Someone said that if it is true, I need to find out. Someone said he's a deputy to NSA. I need to establish that.
Yes.
For operation, according to Gongloe.
If it is true,
please follow up with that.
If it is true, then it's sad for us. If it is true, it's a sad thing. Such a man that will boast of doing those things, then you keep me in
that's a high position for operation.
But that's our biggest spy institution. The only spy institution we have is the most premier security institution we have. I mean, and the most powerful and premier now will be the AFL, because that's the force that we have that will protect us in terms of hostile aggression, right? Hostile, the military is the NSA that we have in our country there. So people that will be appointed in that institution should be people of very high moral standing and serious integrity to bring to bear, because you are there to spy on troublemakers that come in. You are there to coordinate. If you are to take such a man, how you coordinate with powerful nations? Would they call that kind of man against intelligence? No, you cannot do that. At this stage, I'm dumbfounded on it, but I believe sincerely that it may be wrong. It may just be something weird. I don't think it's true.
We're double checking.
And I will hope and pray that it's not true. If it is true, then I'll give up on a serious.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. I call Leonard Dudu, the editor-in-chief of the Liberia Investigator. If he has a copy of the bill, to send it to me. He has not sent it. So this bill, we've been talking about it, but it looks like nobody. It looks like even they have not published it. But we'll find out.
I don't think that bill is out yet. I don't think it's out.
Which is the bill?
The decentralization bill.
Yeah, the Port Authority bill.
That's why I was asking the question yesterday, because we've been talking about it recently. Georgie being read it loud on it, I wanted to find out if the bill been passed, and somebody says it's sent to the president.
Oh yeah, it passed because I just sent it to Leonard Dudu because he's the editor in chief, and I told him, please, if you have the bill, send it to me. He has not replied. That means the bill have not been printed into handbill, so maybe it could be. But anyway, guys, see you Monday. Bring your high school. I'm starting with Basel High School. I'm going to bring a picture of the school, and I'm going to bring the history.
Are you, quickly before we go, are you attending the Basel High School program?
Yes, in August. That's correct. I'm on the organizing committee.
Oh, I will see you for the first time.
Yes. Basel May, say what happened?
I'll be attending there.
Let's do that, please. Thank you very much, guys. See you Monday.
Okay.
Bye, guys.